It's the Mixed Martial Arts Hour with
Mixed Martial Arts Hour is back in your life on this Wednesday, December 6, 2023. Hello again, everyone. I sure hope you're doing well. It is so great to be here with you all on a very frigid Wednesday afternoon in New York City. I hate the cold so much, but I do love doing this show. And I love when it's cold outside and it's toasty in here. Some people have said that I've actually made the studio a little bit too hot, but I like it. I like to sweat while I do the show because we talk about serious business on this program, and we've got a great lineup planned for all of you. We've got a big day. As you know, our beloved Nottingham Forest playing today as well. One of the rare times that we go head-to-head. We don't like to counter-program for us. We like to watch all the games. But I do want to let you all know that in the midst of today's program, there could be a time or two where a siren goes off. Don't be alarmed. It isn't a matter of serious concern. It would just be an update on the highly anticipated Nottingham Forest versus Fulham match at Craven Cottage. I regret to inform you all that Tony Khan did not even decline my invitation to watch the game with us, never even responded to my invitation, which, I don't know. Like, if you get an invitation, Frank, and you can't come, at least you respond, right? At least you RSVP. Sometimes.
Yeah.
When would you not respond?
Depends on who's asking me.
When you don't like the person?
Yeah, definitely not.
Well,
but what's there not to like?
I would hate to think that that's the case.
I don't see why he would think that.
I was hoping that he would come and we can watch the game together just like J.J. Watt did. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen unless, there's still an hour and a half before kickoff. So let's see what transpires. Nevertheless, it's another all-star cast on today's program. I'm very excited about today's program. We are, as always, presented by DraftKings Fantasy Sports. Check out what DraftKings has to offer this season with the code The MMA Hour, because life's more fun when you're in on the action. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Age and eligibility restrictions apply. Void where prohibited. See DraftKings.com for details. Also want to let you know that support for this show comes from Cash App. Yes, we love Cash App because perks are great, but they always come with a cost, right? Nope. With Cash App, you can get the best of both worlds. Discounts and offers for free. What kind of perks? How about discounts on your favorite retailers or pre-sales to concerts and events and so much more? While it can't solve all your problems, Cash App can make your money go further, all with no hidden fees. That's money. That's Cash App. Download Cash App from the App Store or Google Play and start collecting those perks today. Back into the show, we'll get the picks from the guys, Parlay Pals, GC's weekend picks, and so much more. And it's a fun weekend coming up. More on that in a moment. Prior to that, we're going to be joined by the reigning defending UFC men's featherweight champion, the one and only Alexander the Great Volkanovski. We have not talked to him since the Monday before that Abu Dhabi fight against Issa Makhachev. Of course, we now know that in February he'll return to action in Anaheim against the surging Ilia Topuria. Be great to talk to Alexander the Great Volkanovski at around 3:30. We'll answer your questions as well on today's program on the nose. You know how we like to do it. Prior to that, we're going to be joined by the, I think, reigning defending Bellator middleweight champion, Johnny Eblen. And it was brought to my attention that Johnny Eblen is, in fact, the first Bellator fighter that we have on the program since the sale, or I should say the acquisition, because I think technically a sale is when money is exchanged between PFL acquiring Bellator. So we'll get his take. He was at the finale 2 Fridays ago in D.C., the championship finale for the PFL. Get his thoughts on what is to come. And also, worth noting, the big question has been, well, there's no, PFL middleweight division. So if they do a champion versus champion fight card, would that really happen without the likes of Johnny Eblen and Patchy Mix, who's the bantamweight champion of Bellator? Those are arguably their two best champions. Arguably. I know there's Usman Nurmagomedov out there and others. But, you can make a very strong case. They are 2 out of the 3 would seem weird to do a champion versus champion card without him, but we'll get his take. Regis Prograis is going to join us. He's one half of the best fight this weekend. It goes down on DAZN pay-per-view this Saturday from the Chase Center in San Francisco, California. First big fight in the history of that relatively new arena. The Golden State Warriors left Oracle Arena back in 2019, opened the Chase Center 2019-2020 season. And here's Devin Haney moving up from 135 to 140 to fight Regis Prograis, who's the WBC super lightweight champion. That's 140 pounds. And they're fighting for his belt in Haney's home turf, if you will. The buildup for this has been fantastic. I can't wait to get into all of that. Regis Prograis is going to join us. Remember, we spoke to him a few months ago prior to his homecoming in New Orleans. Now he goes to enemy territory in the best fight of the weekend and one of the most anticipated fights, the back end of the boxing calendar season. That it will be at 2 o'clock at around 1:30. Eddie Alvarez is going to join us coming off that loss to Mike Perry over the weekend. See how he's feeling. Appreciate him coming on very much. And we'll get his thoughts on what is to come. Does he want the rematch? Does he not want the rematch? All that stuff and more. It's always great to talk to the Underground King. And in a matter of seconds, we're going to be joined by Drakkar Klose, who was one of several fighters who got a bonus this weekend after an incredible win over Joe Solecki. He scored the 13th knockout via slam in UFC history. And then in the next fight, I think it went like that. He was first, right? Yep. And then in the next fight, Cody Brundage got the 14th. I just wasn't sure who was first in retrospect, but yes. And his was even more gruesome. It was like a plank falling down. Incredible stuff from Drakkar Klose, who had been out for over a year due to a torn ACL. Big win for him. He has now won 3 in a row, and he is up first. So let us go to the Zoom machine and say hello to Drakkar Klose, who is joining us now. Hello, Drakkar. How are you, my friend?
What's up? What's up? How you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for joining us. Congratulations on the win. Can I ask, what is it like to slam someone so hard to the point where their head hits the mat like that and knocks them out? Like for you as the guy doing the slamming, what is that sensation like?
It's amazing. You know, I grew up watching Rampage. Actually, back in like my amateur days, someone threw a triangle and I tried to do the Rampage, but I didn't knock him out. And so I picked him up again and I had to set him on a cage because I was like, fuck, I waste so much energy.
So in that moment, are you actually trying to knock out Joe, or are you just trying to like get him off you? Because part of the problem is that he was still holding onto your arm, right?
Yeah, no, I was trying to slam his head as hard as I could into the mat. For him being a black belt, I don't know why he held on to it because it wasn't even close.
Right.
So
what should he have done?
Let go.
Yeah.
Any smart person, you know what I mean? If someone to lift me up, just go limp. You know what I mean? But hey, it is what it is. Like at the weigh-ins, I told him, like, hey, let's not wrestle. And the first thing he does is shoot on me.
Right.
So he tricked me.
When you said let's not wrestle, did he say anything back?
Oh, he told me. I was like, fight me. He was like, oh, I'm gonna fight you. And I was like, okay, he's gonna fight me. But I guess he had other plans.
Do you consider wrestling not fighting?
Man, I'm trying to make money. And you know how it is in this game. Like you got to have knockouts. You know, I'm getting older in my career, and I'm trying to make as much money as I can before it's all done. Yeah.
Could you tell like right away that he was out? Like, do you feel the body just kind of loot? Like he's and it's a.
Yeah, I knew he was out as soon as he hit, and then I kind of looked at the ref. I was like, "You gonna let me hit him one more time?" And
yeah,
I wanted to put it on him. I was thinking of the Hendo bomb.
Yes, what against Michael Bisping?
Yeah.
Was there beef between you guys?
No. It was just we're managed by the same team.
Yeah.
And you know, for me, I take that personal. Like someone's career is gonna get ruined.
Okay. Wait, what do you take personal? You take personal that there's 2 guys managed by the same person going to, like, you think that someone's gonna get eliminated here, so it has to be the other guy.
But at the end of the day, it's like you're double dipping.
I feel you. Oh, you didn't like that?
You getting? No, I had that happen before with Jason House. when I had fought Bobby Green. Jason House was in Bobby's corner, and I'm like, I have to pay this dude after the fight.
Yeah, so you're the manager you're speaking of is Danny Rubenstein, right?
Yeah, and I love Danny, but it's like, come on, man, don't. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
Okay. Was he was in neither of your corners though, right?
No, it would have been weird if he would have pulled a Jason House and cornered him.
Okay. All right. Yes. So I guess he was neutral in that regard. And I know he speaks very highly of you as well. You had been out for a while due to the ACL. You were supposed to fight Mark Madsen last year. And as you mentioned, I mean, you're not old by any stretch, but you've been around the game for a while. How devastating was the ACL, and were you worried at all that you wouldn't be able to come back to full strength?
No, maybe like 20 years ago, but technology has improved so much. I knew I would be back. I was just mad that I wasn't able to fight Mark Madsen because I thought that would have been another 50K bonus for me.
Yeah. I saw in the post-fight press conference you mentioned him, but then kind of laughed. It seems like perhaps you're going in different directions now, so it doesn't make total sense.
Yeah, no, I got to be realistic. He's coming off, 2 losses, but what I really want is that Beneil fight back. You know what I mean? That haunts me every day. That he has that win over me. That should be my number next to my name that he has. So
when you say that haunts you every day, what do you mean by that?
Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I woke up, I used to have fucking nightmares.
Wow.
About that fight, but I just want to run it back. The UFC is playing the clip like right before I'm walking out. They played the whole clip of Beneil clipping me, and I'm like, "Hey, bro, I got to fight too."
Yeah. That can mess with you. Did it mess with you?
I think it just gave me a little bit more fire. You know what I mean? I was like, I have to go out there and make a statement. I wanted to do it with my hands, but he let me slam him. So,
did you see Beneil last week in Austin? Is there any weird feelings there towards him?
No. Feelings. It just it eats at me that he has one up on me. You know what I mean? I should be ranked in that top 10. But it is what it is. I would like to run that back with him. Maybe UFC 300 or something.
Yeah, that would be a great story. And what's interesting about that is you haven't lost since that fight, and you were on a roll before that fight. A fight like that, a loss like that, a knockout like that could change the course of someone's career. But like I said, you haven't lost. So how did you not allow it to change your career? And you've been like on this spree now, a few finishes, things like that. Like, what did you do? Because nightmares, that could play, that could play some tricks on your mind, right? And be a huge detriment.
Man, I know I'm the man, all these years as an amateur, I was Benson Henderson's main training partner. So it's like at a young age, I've been competing with the top dogs. So I just need my opportunity. That's it.
So do you feel like you're now in line for a high profile fight? If it's not Beneil, but like one of these top guys at 155?
Of course, I don't want to sit here and fight journeyman. You know what I mean? Like, I'm 8-2 in the UFC. Hey, let me fight someone in that top 10, you know what I mean? That area, just to prove myself. I know I'm the man.
Why do you think you haven't gotten those super high profile fights?
Be honest, it's because I always get injured. You know what I mean? It's people forget about you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I had a lot of people like Michael Bisping added me after this fight. It's like, just if I didn't go viral with that slam, these people wouldn't be adding me.
Right. When you say add you, do you mean like follow you on social media?
Yes.
Okay.
Follow me on social media.
Yeah. Do you feel like you were forgotten for a bit?
Yeah, but I kind of like it like that. You know what I mean? I'd rather, just be low key, and then when it's my time, I like it when my back's against the wall.
Yeah. Well, you rose to the occasion there. You got the bonus as well, which is good. Is it true that you were almost not going to get the bonus?
I don't know. I apologize for saying what I did. So thank you, Sean, Mick, Hunter. The UFC.
And what you did was you just shouted out a sponsor, right? Like a betting sponsor?
I I don't know. I don't recall.
Okay. I mean, I'm happy that they gave it to you. I just didn't know that that wasn't allowed, and I guess you didn't know either.
I plead the fifth.
Okay, fair enough. All right, I'm not trying. I'm not trying. That's just what I heard, which I thought was good on them for not doing that. And that's big since you've been out for a year. Has it been tough? You can't earn a living. Year plus. I know you're expecting another child. Courtney is pregnant. Congratulations. I think February is the due date, right?
Yep, February 21st.
Nice. So has it been a tough time?
No, because I made a nice little chunk before I got injured. You know what I mean? So, I was sitting comfortably.
Okay. What about not being able to compete or train, things of that nature?
No, I coach over here at the Red Hawk Academy at Tim Welch's academy. So, it keeps me sharp, teaching these young kids.
Sure. And when you say young, how old are we talking about?
For me, young, 20, 21.
Okay. You're not talking about like 11-year-olds.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Is Tim able to coach these days? I know he tore his Achilles, right? Is he still able to coach?
He's still rolling around here coaching. You know what I mean? He can't get on the mat with them, but he'll be back.
Okay. I heard you say UFC 300, but I also recall you saying that you wanted to fight on the same card as Sean O'Malley, who's obviously a big part of that team. That's 299. You'd prefer which one?
I would prefer 299, but as soon as I said that, Courtney was all mad at me because she was like, "You might miss our son's birth."
Oh no,
and I'm like,
"That's a problem."
And I'm like, "Hey, I got to make money."
But wait, February 21st and 299, I think, is March 9th, right?
Yeah, but now you know what I mean. Just in case he doesn't come that day. So.
Sure. How is she feeling?
She's starting to feel it. Her feet are swollen. Trying to make sure she's all happy and taken care of.
Yeah. Is she planning on returning after the birth?
She is. She wants to come back and fight. So
wow.
I'm excited for her to have our son, and then get back into training.
I know you have another son, right? He's probably what, 6, 7? How old is he?
He's 5.
He's 5. Okay.
Turned 5.
Does he want to do what you do?
He does. He does want to do it, but I told him play soccer, tennis, golf. You know what I mean? Something where you can make real money. This fighting is tough. You know how it is.
Yeah, and not get punched in the face or kicked in the face and slammed.
Yeah, I tell him, hey, you better hit those books.
Yeah.
Being smart is the new thing, man.
Amen. By the way, could I ask you, because I was asking a couple of people about this on Monday, and none of the fighters felt the same as me, and I don't know if you'll feel the same. I was really bothered by the stoppage in the Bobby Green fight with Jalen Turner. It was a great win for Turner, but I thought it went way too long and could have been really dangerous. When I asked several fighters like Dan Hooker and Arman Tsarukyan, of course, he had an issue with Bobby Green. They were like, nah, let me die in there. Which I get it. I get why, I get the mentality, and that's why you guys have coaches and people who try to protect you. But when you saw that, you were there, you were in the arena, I presume. What did you think of the stoppage?
Yeah, I thought, I think he let it go way too long.
Oh, okay, good. Thank God.
He took way too many shots. But then again, he probably was thinking he was just shoulder rolling while he was on the ground.
Nah,
since he was,
That was crazy. It was like, I thought it was 12 seconds too long. You could make a case 10 seconds, but he was out of it, and the ref was standing right there.
Yeah. I feel bad, Bobby's, he's older. He's been in a lot of wars, and he shouldn't have took that type of punishment.
Yeah. Were you shocked that Arman knocked out Beneil like that quickly?
No. You know what I mean? Like, everyone touches Beneil. I had him on the ropes. If I'd have just been a little bit more patient, I would have the same highlight.
That knockout changed the course of his career, right? That really put him on this path to be a contender. And so I'm sure when you see that, you probably think that, that should be me.
Somewhat, but he still had other fights after, you know what
Sure.
I mean? He fought some good guys after, but he shouldn't have been in that top 10 spot. You know, that should be me.
So that's the dream opponent. If you could pick one guy next, it would be Beneil.
Yeah, I want to get it back. You know what I mean? Like, he has one up on me, and I don't like that. I'm a competitor. So if I can get it back, you know, if the UFC want to give it to me, I'll give them 10% of my purse.
Why?
Just so I can get that fight back.
No, don't say that. You're just talking about it's hard to make money in this business. Why are you offering 10%?
Well, I'm paying my manager money. You know what I mean? I'm paying all these other people money. So.
Sure, but I don't think the UFC needs your 10% or Beneil. But I get the desire, though. It makes sense. Actually makes a lot of sense. Often when someone's coming off a knockout and someone's like coming off getting knocked out, it doesn't make sense. But given your history, I think this one does. Do you think it could happen? Have you guys asked for it yet?
I don't know. You know, that's why I'm telling you.
I appreciate
you make it happen.
I could call up Dana right now and make it happen if you want. What? What are you laughing? What is that? What?
Nah, I'm just laughing.
What do you know?
I know nothing.
All right. I mean, I can put in the call. Maybe text Hunter.
I would say, yeah. I don't have the number. So
come on, you've been in the UFC for how long?
You know, they disrespect me in the UFC. So
why do they disrespect you?
I don't know. Maybe I don't show any value.
Oh, they put you on a big card there. That was a sold out Austin. Nice fight night. No, you didn't feel the love.
I was the fourth fight, man. It was barely anybody in there. I'm just playing. There was people, but you know what I mean. I'm like, why is Guida? I mean, I know he's had a lot of fights, but both of those guys were coming off losses.
Yeah, I feel you. And your fight ended much more spectacularly. Imagine that on the main card.
Oh yeah, that would went. The crowd would have really went crazy.
So you want to feel the love. You want to get some more respect, some more love and attention, spotlight,
or just love, attention, or just let me fight somebody in that top 10, or just let me fight Beneil again. That's what I mean.
That's it. All right,
and I'll be happy. And I'll be happy with that.
Okay, I'm looking actually. It's been quite the road. I mean, 2017. You're approaching your 7-year anniversary in January.
Feels like it's been longer.
It has. Why is that?
I mean, I don't know. It just feels. I don't know. I guess the injuries make it feel a little longer because when you I sat out almost 2 years.
Yeah.
After that one fight, and then a year last year, so 3 years of just sitting around, just not doing shit.
You did fight 3 times in 2017, twice in 2018, so you were very active early on, but it's just been on the back end here where it's been a problem.
Yeah. Just always getting hurt in training.
Anything you could do to stop that, or at least try to avoid that?
No, it's part of the game, man. And I've always embraced and enjoyed the journey.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever happens. And kind of like I forgot the 55er that was going to fight for the title, and he I think a brain injury.
TJ Grant
or something.
TJ Grant.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like one injury and you never heard about that guy.
Isn't that crazy? I bet you there are fans now who actually have no idea who TJ Grant is. He was about to fight for the belt.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yep.
Just like it can end like that.
Yep. And so, just enjoy the journey. You know what I mean? Sometimes, we don't sit back and, and smell the roses, but, we have to.
How has Sean been at the gym since becoming champ?
Amazing. He's the same guy. It's just crazy to watch him come from a little kid to where he is now.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
When did you first meet him?
Fuck. He had to be 17, 18, like when he first came out, to Arizona.
Yeah. And be honest, when you first saw him, did you think he could turn into this?
He was just a little string bean.
Yeah.
we used to just be like, oh, look at Screech. You know what I mean? But
the curly hair and everything.
Yeah. But now, hey, it's amazing. He's doing it. That's what we all dreamed to one day become, a champion and able to support our family and do all that type of stuff. So
for sure. This time next year, December 2024, where do you want to be?
Hopefully ranked in that top 5.
Top 5.
Just in the top 5. Give me the opportunity to fight these guys, and I know I can get the job done.
I love it. Well, I wish you the best, man. Good luck with the upcoming berth. Congrats on the incredible win. And by the way, what about Cody Brundage stealing your shine there for a second, right? I mean, were you annoyed when you saw that? You get the slam, then he comes in. Yours was, I think,
not really,
cleaner.
because mine was cleaner, and I can't really hate because we're both from Michigan. So
okay, it was just crazy.
Two
Back
Michigan
to back,
boys.
back to back. What are the chances? 13 and 14.
It's crazy. Hey, crazy things happen.
Which is the greatest of all time? Which is the best slam?
Probably the Rampage.
Rampage Arona.
Yep.
There's been some good ones in the UFC. Matt Hughes and Carlos Newton. A little bit different than yours. Andrade Rose. She went on her head there.
Let me get knockout of the year or something.
All right, cool.
That'd make it better.
All right. So when I call Dana, we want Beneil. We want some love. We want to be on the main card.
And a little extra money.
And a little extra money. And we want to shout out our sponsors. What's wrong with that?
No comment. I plead the fifth.
Much love and respect, my friend. Good luck with the birth, as I said, and happy holidays and good luck next year. Looking forward to a big year for you.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, there he is, Drakkar Klose, on a roll, 3 in a row, 2 stoppages. Of course, has been out since July. Was supposed to fight Mark Madsen in October. Big win for him this weekend with the KO Slam, number 13, and then Cody Brundage followed it up with number 14. I don't mind that fight against Beneil Dariush. I do not mind that fight against Beneil Dariush at all. That would make a lot of sense. I would hope that Beneil is going to take some time, so I don't know if March makes a lot of sense, if I'm being honest. But that would be fun. What about this press release that I just got? Any update on the no, the game didn't start yet. World Championship Sumo launches globally and will present 3 tournaments in early 2024, highlighted by Blockbuster World Championship Sumo event on Sunday, February 18th. Where? At The Rock. Prudential Center, Newark. GC, you in?
I'm there.
The International Sumo League, a new venture debuting in the United States early next year, will host 3 inaugural sumo matches in January and February, headlined by a World Championship Sumo event on Sunday, February 18th from the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey.
That's where I'm there. February 18th, you said?
Yeah.
Count me in.
World Championship Sumo will deliver the biggest show on earth on its way to crowning its first ever ISL World Champion Sumo World Champion.
We selling all 18,000 seats for that? We closing up the top bowl?
Leading up to the Blockbuster February 18 event, the first club sumo tournaments. Oh, get this.
We're getting a team?
No, listen. Will take place on Thursday, January 25th and Thursday, February 8th. Where? The White Eagle Hall.
Yes, let's
Jersey
go.
City.
So we're going to have to make a trip back.
Do you know that White Eagle Hall used to be where St. Anthony basketball, the high school, used to play, coached by the great Bobby Hurley, Dan Hurley. You know this. When I was doing my Dan Hurley story for Real Sports, they're like, yeah, our home gym is now a place called the White Eagle Hall. Like, what?
Shout out, great spot.
Great for darts.
For darts. Yeah. Sounds like it's going to be even better for sumo. I'm all in on that. I mean, what was that, the quarterfinals?
Yeah, I guess. This is I've never been to a sumo event. I feel like you kind of have to go. I feel like you kind of have to go in Japan first.
I feel like White Eagle Hall is a good warm-up spot.
Yeah, it's good. You're right. It's like going to White Eagle Hall for darts instead of the Ali Pali.
Well, we're going to go White Eagle Hall, then we'll go Newark, just like the Great Hulu Theater for what we went to in the Summer Stepping Stones, and then Ali Pali darts, Tokyo, sumo.
Isn't it weird since you guys went to Hulu for the darts, like you're totally not into it anymore?
No, we love darts. We actually are clamoring for the darts. It's you
We're
that's
actually
no longer
aware
into the darts. I've been watching the entire tour. I'm itching for Ali Pali.
It's not the Hulu Theater
I bring up
anymore.
darts around you, and you're just like, blah, 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 blah. Can't hear it. Can't be bothered.
No, it's like 2 weeks away. It's gonna be.
I get on my burner in the YouTube chat, and I just put all caps darts. Do the darts.
That's your
whenever
burner?
you have a guest on, yeah.
All right. Well, that's exciting. That just came through the wire literally minutes ago. Let's go back to Saturday night. Let's go back to Utah. The King of Violence inaugural title fight in BKFC. Mike Perry, Eddie Alvarez. was incredible while it lasted, as expected. I remember saying last week, I see no scenario in which this doesn't live up to whatever hype you may think is attached to this fight, and it did, and then some. It was just 4 minutes long. In the end, Perry prevails. Saw a tweet from Eddie Alvarez about, how he's feeling afterwards. Kind enough on his part to check in, because a lot of people wouldn't do that. So here he is, joining us from his home, is the great Eddie Alvarez, the Underground King, wearing the Eagles shirt. Sorry about the loss on Sunday. Did that bother you more? Did the Eagles' loss on Sunday bother you more than the Saturday fight?
No.
Okay.
No.
Just
Yeah, you don't have. Enough of that, Ariel.
Okay, sorry. You beat my Bills 2 weeks ago, so I'm a little salty. How are you doing, Eddie? How are you feeling after that? That was incredible to watch, but gruesome from an outsider's perspective. How are you feeling?
Much better today. The night of the fight was rough. We suffered a multiple fracture. I had an old fracture from the Gilbert Melendez fight.
Wow.
Of my orbital that refractured during that fight, and so it was that. It was kind of on the side here where my nose is at, and then one down here. So it was two fractures that happened, and kind of somewhere maybe halfway through the second round, kind of felt my kind of vision sort of going little by little. And then when I sat at the stool, I felt that same feeling before. I knew what was what and knew what was happening to my eye. So yeah, it was rough. It was rough.
Can you describe what that feeling is like? What does that actually feel like? What are you experiencing?
Yeah. So when I fought Chad, I lost my vision for about 20 seconds during the Chad fight, but very different. When I fought Chad, I got blood in my eye and I couldn't see him, and I just breathed my way through it, got through it, and then within 20 seconds, it all came clear. So I knew it was just blood. I'm like, okay, it was just blood that was in my eye, and now it's gone. Now I can see clear again. This was sort of a slowly just losing it. Ooh. As the time was going, each entrance, each combination that was being thrown, slowly losing my my depth. I couldn't really see them, and then you can even see during the second, maybe I start to get a little wider with my punches, a little more desperate, because I can't really see them as well. During the fight. So as I sat at the stool, I'm like, yeah, my nose, same thing that happened in the Gilbert Melendez fight. My nose starts leaking. So once there's a little crack in the nose and the orbital, the sinus starts to go. So that started to come down. It all started to feel familiar again.
Sheesh.
And you can't fuck with the orbital. It's really, really bad injury if it could go really bad really fast. So I'm lucky I got the corner I do. I have the experience in my corner with Mark Henry, Ray Robinson, myself. We have, between the three of us, we have decades of experience, and you gotta know when the hunt is over. And the hunt was over. And even the greatest predators got to bow on a hunt here and there, because it's just not your night. You know what I mean? So unfortunately, that's what it was. I felt fucking amazing. I felt incredible. I was prepared. I was ready. Our game plan was exactly what you guys seen from the very beginning. And that was what I was hoping to do for 5 rounds, but unfortunately, that's the game we're in.
So, just a few follow-ups. I was going to ask you, just because you're 100% okay with the stoppage, right? There was even in the moment, you were okay with it.
Yeah, I know. We knew. Collectively, it was sort of this is terrible, because we had such a great start.
Yeah,
it was not rarely does a fight go the way you plan it, right? You plan it and it's okay, you don't know what could happen in between, but it was going we knew we were going to be faster. There was a possibility of me catching him. All this was talked about, and it was going exactly the way we spoke about it, almost too good. And then, boom, that's what she wrote. And it was like, damn, man.
What do you think happens if you don't break the orbital? How do you think it plays out?
Oh, I had him nearly knocked out in the first round. Again, catching him in the second round. Sooner or later, I mean, that shit adds up. So one of us were going to damage the other one.
Right.
He got me first. You know what I mean? And that damage, that's bare knuckle. You know what I mean? That's the beauty of that game is you could be damn near perfect, but one guy's going to damage the other one before, you gotta get there first. You got to do the damage first. That's like a street fight. Street fight's the same way. The guy who usually punches first in a street fight typically wins. So bare knuckle's a different sport. It's not like anything else. It's not like anything else I ever did. It's unique in itself.
Now that you've done it twice, do you enjoy it?
I do. I enjoy it because there's so many nuances that don't have to do with MMA, have nothing to do with MMA. And the training is different and the recovery is different. It's a different speed and pace. Tactically, you have to change. It fits some guys. Don't fit everyone, but it fits some fighters.
Do you enjoy it more than MMA at this point?
At this point, yeah, I do.
Why?
Yeah, at this point. One, I think, and I think it's less. I think it's less damaging than MMA, a lot less. Because in MMA, you could train for a fight. The training camps are 2-3 months, and a lot of them 2-3 months, you're grappling, wrestling, kicking. There's such a demand in MMA and what you put your body through. Almost never do you know. You don't know as an MMA fighter. It's very uncertain whether you're going to make it to the fight. So you're always playing this game of I have to take a risk during my camp in order to be prepared, but how much risk do I take? And it's a balance. It's like a fine balance. In this, almost every time you're going to make it to the fight. It's not a lot less wear and tear. You could train more. You could recover better. I think it's just all together better. 2-minute rounds, 1 minute rest. So the ratio to work to rest is a lot better. I just think you have more control of making it to a fight, of actually making it to a fight.
You spar leading up to these fights?
Yeah, with gloves.
With
just
gloves.
like boxing.
How big are the gloves?
16 ounce, like a pro box. The same way a pro boxer would do their camp. I'm doing mine sort of the same way, except usually at the end of our sessions, we're doing clinch work. We're adding in clinch work. And then whenever I do mitts, noodles, bag work, that kind of stuff, we take the gloves off so we can get the timing.
Okay.
You want to get the timing of having bare hands because it's a lot different having a 16-ounce glove. You take that off, the timing is a lot different. So
that's exactly why I asked.
Bare.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was wondering. Even when you hit mitts, it's bare.
Bare, yeah. Bare.
Damn.
Yeah.
That doesn't mess up.
Sometimes I'll put on wraps if I get openings in my knuckles. So you'll see sometimes you'll get an opening and it's annoying and you don't want to get staph and shit. So sometimes I'll wrap that up just so I don't get no infection or anything. But mostly I just keep it like that to strengthen my wrist, my ligaments, to strengthen it all. So when you go to hit, everything's good and strong.
Because you have found this new life in bare knuckle and the debut went so well and the first round went so well and to a degree the second round went so well, how hard of a pill is this to swallow, this particular loss?
I had a long flight back home, right? I had 5-hour flight back home thinking about okay, and I do this just every fight I lose. And I kind of write notes in my phone of what could be done different, right? if we could do anything, what would we have done to change the outcome of the fight? And a lot of times that the things that need to be changed happen inside of the camp or way before the actual fight happened. And I think if I could change a couple things, I think I gave up a little bit too much size and weight. I would change that. I would try to get it at a little bit. I try to maybe do it at 65 or something like that. Make him come down a little bit. So like I did give up size. Like I'll agree with the audience. Like I gave up size. And I was okay with that because I still thought I would put Mike Perry away. To this day, I still feel like I could put Mike Perry away. I gave up a little bit too much size. I would have did that differently. The fight itself, I got caught with a big shot. It's like it's bare knuckle. I love the way I fought. I wanted to put him away. I wanted to land my shots. I didn't want to run from him. I wanted to meet him right in the middle of his shots. And same way you would meet someone like Justin Gaethje or meet a guy who has that forward pressure. I wanted to punch with him and hit in between and eventually knock him out. That's what we tried to do. We took risks that way, and I was okay with that. And I almost did. I don't know. He got really wobbled. We hurt him really bad, really early. Maybe I should have got on him. I should have got on him more rather than relax too much after I hurt him. But just maybe some small little adjustments. But I can't do anything about a broken orbital, and I can't fight with one because if I fight with one, I can never fight again, and I can lose my vision. I can't see my kid smile. There's nothing I could do about that. So like, I don't regret not taking the risk of losing my vision.
Yeah, of course.
So I thought long and hard about that. I can't regret that. So there's not many things I could have done differently. My coaches prepared well. Coach Mark Henry's was amazing. Coach Ray Robinson was amazing. We were ready. My sparring partners were amazing. Just one of them things, man. We're in fighting. We fist fight, and it's unpredictable.
Spoke to him earlier this week, and he was talking about like as he put it, I'm paraphrasing, but like the jab style of just sort of like hitting him with shots. He's like, that was nothing. I was going to come on and really put, the pain on him, damage him as I did later on. And so he was saying like the typical boxing style of just using the jab and all that is not going to work in bare knuckle. You're almost going to, you're going to hurt your hand or whatever, and it's not going to cause the type of damage that you want to cause. Is there any truth to that in your opinion?
No, because he was all fucked up. I mean, look at his face was a mess. His face was just like almost as bad as mine. So like, there is no truth to that. No, because look, one good jab, right? One solid jab cuts in the wrong spot. The fight's over. So like to say that a jab is ineffective is silly because like, well, I'm cut pretty good right here. I think he was maybe cut there, but like this gets open enough. It ain't up to you. The ref's going to say, or the judge are going to say, hey, it's over. That blood keeps getting in your eye. So like the jab's the best punch in bare knuckle. There is no better punch in bare knuckle than the jab. And I was jabbing well. I think he was trying to pitch a shutout, and he kept saying the entire camp, easy work, light work, easy work. And it fucking wasn't. And, it wasn't. It was the furthest thing from easy work. And I think the same thing I said before this camp, I think it's at a certain point, maybe he's going to think like this is not going to be easy work. And I think after the first round, him and his coaches, you could see not the panic in him, but him and his coaches were like, hey, you can't stand in front of him. You can't they were almost like, hey, you need to make some adjustments here because this is not going well.
Why do you think Mike has found so much success in bare knuckle?
I think Mike's success in bare knuckle has to do with his durability and he's hard to put down. He's a hard guy to put down. Like, it's going to be hard to even get a stand 8 against him. He's a battle axe, and he's like a fucking zombie. It's like the shots I hit him with, with a bare fist, almost 100% of the time put most guys down. But that's why I also think that maybe I gave up too much weight, because in my weight class, that same left hook is putting any 65 or 55er down for sure. And he was able to stay on his feet with it. But it's his durability and his willingness to, go out on the shield. And a lot of bare knuckles, a lot about that, because you're going to take damage 100%. I don't care how skilled you are, how good you are. And that's got to be a part of the game. A part of the game in bare knuckle, unlike a lot of these other sports, is can you take damage and keep a good positive attitude and keep coming forward as if it's not happening to you, and he could do that. He could do that with the best of them.
By the way, speaking of the weight, at the weigh-ins, I think you were saying like your manager messed up and he was complaining about something. What was that all about?
You don't miss a fucking beat, man.
Bro, I mean, it was great shit. It was great. I loved it. It was good drama.
No, but that was said between me and him. I don't think anybody asked that. I don't know if you had some kind of sonar in there.
No, it was on. It was in the face-off. You said to him, it was in the clip. All right. So,
yes. All right. So at weigh-ins, our weight was 176, 175 and a pound, right? So I weighed in at 175.7, which I'm on weight.
Yeah.
175 and a pound. No problem. Well, I get off the scale, and both of our guys send someone to watch the other guy weigh in. Well, his coach turns to Mike's manager and says, "Hey, he's not on weight. He's 0.7 over." And I went, "No, we're on weight, man. It's 176 is the weight." And they didn't know that. Mike's manager messed up and told Mike that you're not getting a pound. So they made Mike cut a whole other pound that he didn't need to cut, which Mike's already big and he's already cutting. And that's a massive fuck up. Like me and my manager, Lloyd's excellent, by the way, and that would never happen in my camp, but I would fucking be furious because the hardest pound to cut is the last pound.
Mm-hmm.
And they made him cut one beyond that. So, that could put you at a really bad disadvantage if you're already cutting a lot. So they had him cut a pound that he should never cut. And then instead of just being like, we fucked up, they said, "No, Eddie is overweight." And I'm like, "No, I'm not." And we put up the contracts right there.
Oh, wow.
On my phone. Showed him the contract for the fight and said, "Here's the contract." And they go, "Oh, okay." But they still argued it. They still kept arguing. I'm like, there's nothing to argue about. The bout agreement's right here.
Right. Okay. That is good stuff.
I was on weight. I mean, for the record.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah. Nothing happened. Are you going to fight again?
I'm hearing rumblings of Philadelphia, and if that happens, I mean, I got it. We got to make that happen.
And you're talking about BKFC in Philly. So
I hope so.
So I heard David Feldman at the post-fight press conference say Philadelphia in the works potentially, and he said he would love to run it back. And I think you implied on Twitter you'd love to run it back. I asked Mike about this yesterday, and he doesn't seem all that keen on running it back, if only because he was worried about, maybe you'll need a lot of time because of the eye to heal up. But even when he was on my show on Monday, he was talking Masvidal, he was talking Pettis, names like that. Do you think that he is not interested in running it back?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I need him to say yes, right? There's no. I mean, I could want it to happen all day, but we need him to say yes in order for the fight to happen. So,
would that be your ideal scenario? Him in Philly?
Philadelphia, yeah, Philadelphia.
But him in Philly, like, do you want him to be a part of that equation, or do you not care as long as it's in Philly?
It honestly, that would be the best case scenario. Myself, I would like to get to more of a natural weight. Did you see me? Like, that's not me. Like,
yeah.
See my body?
Yeah.
That's not my body. Like, I'm like kind of fat. Like I had to like hold on to weight that I didn't want to hold on to and be bigger than I wanted to be in order to fight at a weight that's not my weight. So I took a fucking shot, man. And I really, me, my coaches, everyone around believed that we can make this happen. And we didn't. So like, it is what it is. But, no, ideal in a perfect world, I want to be at 65. I want to fight at my natural weight. It'd be lovely to get a rematch with him at something more of my natural weight. If we can meet somewhere in between, that would be the ideal situation. But for me, I don't even want to come in a fight week like in that, like my body fat was much higher than it ever was. And I hate that. I want to come in fight week like ripped up, shredded, feeling like I didn't even feel like that was my body fight week. I'm like, this is not the body I even fight in, you know?
If you get Philly, that feels like is that the retirement fight?
Oh, we don't talk. We don't say the R word around here.
Okay, sorry. Sorry, the last
no,
one?
That's for quitters.
Okay, sorry. It just feels like the storybook ending, right?
Oh, maybe so. Who knows?
All right.
Maybe you should show up there. Maybe you should be there.
Maybe I will. You played this game on me last time, and I did show up in Kensington. Don't forget. I showed up.
Yeah.
We walked the streets.
You did.
That was something. I'll never forget that one. That was incredible. Holy smokes.
Maybe we walk Kensington before the Philly fight one more time. All
right. Sounds good. Just two more to ask you about. Now that you've been a part of the BK, scene and operation and the machine, I've seen the interviews with David Feldman. It seems like they're on a bit of a roll here. Do you feel like they could be a legit player in this combat sports world where they're no longer like the freak show, sideshow thing, like a real, that crowd and that gate on Saturday, that was impressive. Like, do you feel, yes.
Do I feel? I mean,
there's still some states, there's still some states that don't allow it, right? Some major states, Nevada, California, I think some might be coming, but like, yeah, they're coming. All right.
They're coming. Look, we just sold out. Like, who else did what we did? Who else? PFL, Bellator?
Right.
Who else? Who did what we just did?
Yeah.
Like, who did what Bare Knuckle just did? We just sold out the Maverick, maybe 10,000 people deep. Everyone was going bananas. And the whole world watched the fight. I mean, I'm online right now. They just posted the Chad Mendes fight like 5 days ago. It has already over 1 million views.
Yeah, no, the views for this fight going into it was nuts.
Nobody was watching anything else but me and Mike Perry. UFC was on, but nobody, like, everybody watched me and Mike Perry. Like, I don't think it's a question anymore about bare knuckle, and they can do an event for damn sure. They can sell out a live event. They've already proven that, and now they can get the whole world to watch. It's like, what else do you need? I don't know what else you need. The game's set, the pins are set up. It's like, I'm excited. I'm super excited for the future. I think it's going to be, look, UFC's the 500-pound gorilla. Bjorn Rebney used to call it, right? It's a 500-pound gorilla. And they ran so fast, so quick. No one's really going to catch up to that, right? But you don't have to catch up to that if you're not playing the same game they're playing. Like, this is a whole different base. There's a whole different sport, you would say, but like everything about it is different.
Yeah.
Everything. I can speak first person point of view. Like everything's different about bare knuckle in MMA.
You more than anyone. I mean, you've pretty much fought for every single organization except for PFL at this point. Just curious. I always love your take on the business. PFL acquiring Bellator. Your thoughts?
I think what other play is there, right? Like I know Dana says one company who doesn't sell tickets buying enough. Well, why not acquire that? I think the assets alone, or assets or fighters, you want to call them, alone in Bellator. I don't know what they bought it for. What was the amount they bought it for?
0, just equity.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Like, look at you got McKee, you got the Pitbull brothers, you got Corey Anderson, there's enough assets and fighters and great contracts that it's worth it for free.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a great price for them fighters and for that content. So
I agree. Chandler Connor.
I do. Me and you dealt with this with Connor, right? Right?
I don't know what you
Are
mean.
we allowed to tell the audience that, Ariel?
I don't know. I have no idea what you're talking about.
I don't know.
Tell me. What?
We can't tell the audience?
Go ahead.
Nobody had any clue if I was fighting or when I was fighting? And we were all just trying to figure it out?
Until like the day before the presser.
Yeah.
That was a crazy time.
Then I get a call, from the boss himself. Oh, you found out. Oh yeah, we found out. Yeah, we found out. We found out when we're fighting and who we're. So
you know what's crazy about that? You know what's crazy about that?
Doing the same thing.
Yeah, Khabib got so mad at me. There's a clip of us because I've seen it. I was telling him that he was being used as a pawn because of what they were doing, and I knew what was going on. And this guy blocked me and got mad at me, and I was trying to help him out. I was trying to help a brother out, and he got mad at me for that because he said that I wasn't telling the truth. When in reality, I was telling the truth because they were trying to do you versus him and using him as the, as the chip. Like, hey, if you don't take this fight for this price, we're just going to go with Khabib. You remember all that?
Yes, and that's their play, right? Their play is if we can't just have two guys involved and know that they're going to fight each other. Because if they know that, now they have leverage to say, hey, I want this much, I want this. So they always get a third or fourth or fifth guy involved to beat your price down to nothing. So I think that's what's going on, right? Because if Mike Chandler knows he's fighting Connor and Connor knows he's fighting Chandler, then the two have room to negotiate for that fight itself. So I think a third or fourth or fifth player is coming along that we didn't hear about yet. So they both get beat down to nothing. Not beat down to nothing, but so they both don't try to negotiate $1 over what their contract's worth. That's what's going on. That and Connor, he holds the cards and he gets to say when it happens. And if I'm Connor, I'm not telling my opponent when I'm fighting him either. If I don't fucking have to,
right?
Like I'll let him know when I feel like it's my time to let him know.
Man, fascinating times in the biz. A lot of these numbers are coming out now because the company is public. I don't know if you saw some of these yesterday. $25 million site fee from Saudi Arabia, $20 million from Abu Dhabi just to put on the event, in addition to all the other money that they're getting. $25 million, $200 million, in sponsorship right now, from $60 million in 2016 to $200 million. They are on fire.
Wow. Hey, I wanted to bring this up to you because I know this was interesting to you. Did you see that email, what they were doing to Nate?
Yes.
Oh my God. This
is it. For those that don't know, this is an email that's come out. There's a great reporter named John Nash who's getting all of this out because of the class action lawsuit where Joe Silva is saying essentially, like, if he doesn't take this fight, we're going to bury him on the prelims against a really tough guy on his way out, which is essentially what they did to him with Khamzat, except Khamzat missed weight and it didn't work out. But this has been going on. Do you remember Andrei Arlovski back in the day? They put him on the prelims against Jake O'Brien because he couldn't come to terms. He was going to go to Affliction. This has been going on for years. It's just the fight business,
Yeah,
right?
but that's important. That's important for the up and coming fighter who wants to be in this business, for them to understand that, like, if you're not cooperative, what the conversation is in the boardroom if you're not cooperative. And they're the real conversations that are being had about you, the fighter, who's signing these contracts if you don't cooperate. So, like, I dealt with this with Bellator. I knew that they were trying to kill me off the minute I didn't want to stay. And when you don't want to stay and you don't want to cooperate, the next thing is, how do we get him beat? How do we devalue him to a point where he can't fight for anyone else but us? And that's just the sport. And them emails reveal it's so like boom, right
Black
in your
and white.
face. Like, yeah, and it's talked about, and I guess it's conspiracy theory, but now we see it like, oh wow, this is how they speak about us when we're not around.
Crazy. What a sport. And you have survived it all and then some, and now thriving in bare knuckle. Thank you for doing this. Get well soon, and we'll see you in Philly in 2024.
I'll see you guys. Hell
All right.
yeah, thanks.
There he is, Eddie Alvarez, or as Bjorn Rebney liked to call him back in the day, Ed Alvarez. Great stuff from him. And him in Philly would be the perfect way, but look, he wants to keep going. God bless. In a moment, we're going to be joined by Regis Prograis, the super lightweight champion, 140 pounds of the WBC, going up against Devin Haney in San Francisco. Can I just play this clip? No one in the fight game right now, and that includes UFC, and I've said it, like, we keep it real around these parts. Weigh-ins, UFC are the best. Press conference, like the whole flow, the setup, I don't love the questions, but like in terms of the production, UFC are the best. Event, UFC are the best. When it comes to fight week content, and in particular these face-offs and the face-to-faces and the promos, Matchroom are the best right now. There's no doubt about it. We've played some of the promos. My guy, Alex Haynes, who I'm not just saying this because, like, I like the guy. Unequivocally, they are the best right now. That Joe Cordino one in Monte Carlo, tremendous. The Prograis Haney one, tremendous, and we could play that as well. But they do these face-offs on Tuesday, and it's like cinema. It's unbelievable. Look at the one that they did yesterday for Haney Prograis with the Golden Gate Bridge as the background. And look at the way they mic everyone and just the way it's shot. This is yesterday's face-off for this super lightweight fight. I mean, this is great stuff. This is great. They take the guys to an iconic, or the women. We had Taylor Cameron at City Hall. Love this.
I know you know reality. You know reality. You know the reality. You know reality. We keeping that belt.
We keeping that belt right there. Yeah. You won't go back to New Orleans with that belt.
Just so you get knocked the fuck out, like we said.
I mean,
Watch what I tell you. Watch what I tell you. Watch what I tell you. Nah, y'all been smoking that shit.
Hey, that lucky ass right hook. That lucky ass right hook. Hey, Regis. That right hook ain't gonna work, Regis. You hear me? Hey, Regis, you know that right hook y'all been working on? That ain't gonna work.
He done knocked 24 motherfuckers out. Tell the media, tell the media how many guys he knocked out.
Are you gonna do something you ain't never did? Hey, listen. Are you gonna do something you ain't never did? Are you gonna do something you ain't never did?
I can't get
When the
enough
fight
of
is
that.
over, you'll see.
We gonna beat him the fuck up with both of them.
Over, you'll see.
With speed, with accuracy.
You go. When the fight is over, you will see.
With accuracy, with precision, with feet. What plan do you have, big dummy?
It's amazing. I love it. And they do it for all the big fights. And there you had Bill Haney, who's Devin Haney's father and head trainer. And you had Evans Tobler, who's the strength coach for one Regis Prograis. And they've gone back and forth at the press conference. And there's another press conference today. And it's going to be great. I love the way they shoot that. And I love the fact that it's not even Regis and Devin going back and forth. They had a face-to-face with Chris Mannix, which was very entertaining as well. And the views for it on their YouTube are flying. So it seems like there's great demand. I remember when this fight was announced in September, and I said, I love the fact that Devin Haney takes these fights. He seeks these fights. He's a 135-pound champ, undisputed champ, and he's going to 140 to fight the best 140-pounder arguably in the world. And people are like, come on, he's ducking Shakur Stevenson. Now, no one's saying that anymore. They've forgotten about Shakur. Shakur has one bad night or one sort of underwhelming night, and like, okay, Shakur is old news, which is crazy, which is insane. But now everyone's like, okay, this is the fight. This is the fight. I said that back in September, and I got killed for it. You don't know shit about boxing. You don't know shit about boxing. Look at this promo right here. Look how great this is. This is, again, Alex over at Matchroom. And there's a whole team there. He's the head of creative, the head of content. But look at this.
You hear me? I gotta step on you. I gotta crush you. You in my way.
I'm breaking you down, bro. I'm gonna break you down. Break your heart and break your will. I'm gonna take everything from you.
It's levels, and I'm at the highest. I'm at the peak.
You're manufactured. You're not real. You fake.
Just another night for me. Another victim, another body. I'm gonna fuck you up.
Like I keep saying, I'm gonna keep stressing this over and over, bro. I'm gonna hurt you. Really, you're a little boy to me. Everybody that's there, all your people, bro, they gonna see you get knocked out, and I'm gonna knock y'all cold. Fuck boxing. This gonna be a massacre.
Regis, I'm coming for you.
Oh, this is great. How are you not buying this? This is theater. December 9th, the Zone pay-per-view. Let's talk to the super lightweight champion, the king of the 140-pounders. In a matter of seconds, he's headlining in enemy territory. Last time we spoke to him, he was about to fight in his home state, in his hometown. Now he's going to the Bay Area to defend his title against the former undisputed king at 135. Devin Haney, Regis Prograis, what a fight this is on the Zone pay-per-view for the 140-pound title of the WBC. And it's a great card. You guys tell me when he's ready. Oh, he is. Okay, you said not yet. Sorry, my bad. Here he is, Regis Prograis joining us. There he is. Rougarou, what's up, my man? How are you?
All good, baby. All good. What's up with it?
I appreciate you joining us. I know it's a very busy week, so we won't keep you very long. We just played the face-off at Golden Gate yesterday. Do you enjoy that sort of thing?
Yeah, it was cool. You know, we both of us, you know, like we cutting weight and stuff like that. So right now it's all right. It's something to get out the hotel room, and you know, our teams kind of talked a lot, but me and him didn't really say nothing. It's nothing really to say right now. You know, it's fight time, so I'm more serious. You know, it's not. I don't even really want to say nothing now. It's serious now.
I feel you. Did you say a word to him? Because in the clip, I don't think you said anything to him, and he didn't say anything to you. I know his dad and Evans were going back and forth, but you guys, not a word.
Not a word.
Wow.
Nope, not a word.
You've had enough.
Nothing. I had enough, man. I'm kind of done talking. I don't, you know, I'm kind of one. I'm more reactive anyway. You know, I didn't feel like going to say nothing anyway. But if somebody say something to me, I'm gonna say something. But if he would have said something, I probably would say something. But you know, right now it's no more talking. You know, like they can talk all they want. His daddy can talk, Evans can talk, but like for me, bro, I don't like the talking is over. Like for real, the fight is in a few days, so I don't care about that.
Do you enjoy the back and forth between Bill and Evans, or are you tired of that as well?
I actually do. It's entertainment. I actually do like it. I'm not gonna lie. I do like it. I like every time they see each other, they go back and forth. You know, his team goes back and forth with mine. So it's good, man. It's entertainment. It really is good. People like that. People want to see that, you know, because, you know, me and Devin, you know, sometimes I might say something, sometimes he might say something, but sometimes we won't say nothing at all. So it's good. Every time they see each other, they going to go off, and that's good.
Yo, Evans is a great hype man. I mean, this guy is incredible. He's got the gift of gab, but it's not often that the strength coach is speaking like that. So, and I know he took a shot at him, Devin did, and Bill. Does he work at all with your boxing, or is it just with your strength coach stuff?
Mostly strength. He does some boxing, but mostly right now it's mostly strength.
Okay. And did you kind of like instill him as the guy to be your hype man, to be up there? Because it's not usually a spot for the strength coach.
It's not even about a hype man thing, man. It just happened. That's all. It's not even about a hype man thing or not. Like because my other coach, he didn't come out here the first time. We had the press conference like two months ago. He didn't come out here the first time we did it, and he came. God damn. He came, and so, you know, that's why.
Okay. By the way, as the champ, how do you feel about going to the Bay, where he's from, to defend your title? How do you feel about that?
matter. At the end of the day, I really feel like I'm gonna hurt him. I feel like I'm gonna smash him no matter what. This is not. People keep saying the Bay is his hometown. This is not his hometown. The Bay is, he was born here. He left when he was 7. He moved to Henderson, Nevada, and man, like everywhere. Listen, I've been on the street out here, and everywhere I go, people like, man, I can't stand Devin. I can't stand the Haneys. Man, you gotta knock them out. So if you're from here, people shouldn't even be treating me like that. Like literally everywhere I go, I'm in the gyms, I'm running on the street. When I'm running on the street, like cars are stopping me. Like, champ, man, you gotta knock them out, champ. We don't like the Hanes. We don't like Devin. So Devin is not even. That's what I'm saying. He's not even from here. He was born here, but being born here is not. That doesn't mean you're from here. You don't. How many schools he went to? What is his background here? Is not nothing. And so, yeah, I don't believe that is his homecoming, like they say. I just don't believe it. I don't go for it.
Ultimately, were you surprised when this fight came to fruition? Are you surprised that he didn't stay at 135?
I was surprised. It was like I was and I wasn't, because after my last performance, he was like, "All right, maybe we can do something." Bill came and they was probably thinking like, "All right, maybe we can do something with him." And as far as the 35 thing, I know he is bigger. He has a bigger frame. He probably was struggling to make 135. So I think he did have to come up to 140. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm still surprised that, he took this fight. A lot of people were surprised that he took this fight, because, like I said, he was getting touched at 135, and I'm one of the biggest punches at 140. So it's gonna be a big difference.
If you win your last fight via knockout, 5th round knockout, 6th round knockout, do you think this fight doesn't happen?
I don't think it happens at all. I don't. He said it would, but I just honestly, I really don't believe that would have happened. So for me, man, this is definitely a blessing in disguise. I went under the radar for so many years, and now like I'm getting all this publicity, and because of this fight. So for me, that is a real blessing in disguise.
I know you're about 10 years older than him. Have you been frustrated over the years with other guys younger guys getting more shine, more spotlight, more attention than you, and you're saying like, yeah, what about like, why can't I get this? The stuff you're getting right now, but why wasn't it happening 5 or so years ago?
I just always had a hard road, man. My daddy told me that since I was young. I always had a harder road. I started boxing late. So these younger guys, like, I started boxing when I was like 16, 17. Devin turned pro when he was 16, 17. He was 17 or whatever. So that's why it is a big difference. It's like you have to pay your dues, right? And I had to pay my dues. Yeah, I'm older, but I started boxing at a later stage, and I'm still where I'm at right now. So it's like it's not frustrating to see it, because I don't care, but I box because I love boxing. That's why I box. So it's not about getting famous and getting rich. I really love the sport. I'm a historian of the sport, and I just really, truly just love what I do.
I saw they had a great video package called "Make the Days Count" on the Matchroom YouTube channel, and you're talking about being a historian and Mike Tyson, this and that, and you even had a Conor McGregor photo in there in that room, which I thought was interesting. A lot of boxers maybe don't want to show Conor love because he's the MMA guy. Why Conor?
Right. Shit, he was the king of, like, for me, man, Conor was like a king of like MMA, and honestly, bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, if MMA was big when I was coming up, I probably would do MMA, because I like that type of stuff. When I was my wife is Brazilian, so I spent a lot of time in Brazil, and when I'm out there, I do a lot of grappling, I do a lot of Brazilian jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. So I actually do like that sport a lot, but I end up just happening to be a boxer. But yeah, I like the sport. I trained with all those guys. I trained with Pedro Hijo. I trained with Jose Aldo when I was in Brazil, and all those guys out there, and they showed me a lot of love. So I do, I like MMA.
Wow, I didn't know that. Man, Aldo's a legend. What did you make of him? Yep. And he's been boxing a little bit now. Would you think of his skills?
Yeah, he started boxing. Man, he was when I first met him, he was actually coming off that big loss to like Conor McGregor and stuff like that. So he was kind of iffy, but he's still like the king of Rio. So we hung out a few times, and that's about it. But we was actually supposed to spar one day, but it just never happened. He was like partying or something like that the night before, so it never happened.
Okay, wow, that is great. So in this particular case, it's for your WBC 140-pound title. You win this fight. What do you think they'll deliver to you? Like, where does this fight lead to?
I really feel like it'll catapult me to like probably one of the faces of boxing. Like one of the biggest faces in boxing, and definitely on the pound for pound list, top 5 pound for pound, matter of fact. And it'll give me, it'll lead me to the bigger fights, just bigger fights later down the line, real big fights. The next fight will be, something big.
How do you like working with Matchroom? I know, earlier this year you signed with them. You had that first fight under your belt. What do you think of them?
Man, me and Metro, we like friends and enemies at the same time.
Why?
That's how it is with them.
Tell
you
me.
know, it's just like because I'm like I have my own promotion company going on, so it's like, but I'm still signed with Metro. But at the end of the day, man, Metro is like I like Metro most likely better than any promotion I ever signed with. Because one thing, Eddie might be full of shit, right? All promoters are. That's what all promoters are, full of shit. That's what they are. But one thing Eddie delivered. He told me this. He told me you're gonna fight. This is when Eddie met me in Houston right before the Canelo fight. He came meet me. He was like, "This is before I signed." He's like, "Listen, this is the plan laid out for you." He said, "We're gonna fight. We'll give you a homecoming fight in New Orleans." Then after that, he said, "You're gonna fight a big fight." Devin Haney was the first name he said. Either Devin Haney or Teofimo or Ryan Garcia. He said those names, but Devin Haney was the first name. So far, Eddie delivered on literally everything he said so far. He delivered on it, and. I mean, I'm grateful and I'm happy to be with, I'm happy to be with Metro. I think it is a good fit for me. Sometimes me and them, we get into little things and stuff like that. But for me, at the end of the day, man, I am happy to be with Metro. I think that is the right fit so far for me.
They obviously promote both of you. Do you think they have a dog in the race? Do you think they want one guy to win?
I think they like Devin more. I mean, I told Eddie myself. I said, look, because I met him, they had some fights in LA. And I said, yeah, that's your boy. But I said, I'm going to knock your boy out. I know that's your boy more than me. We both signed with him, but I'm going to knock your boy out. I know that it's normal. It's a human nature. They have, they have certain picks and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, man, it's as a promoter, that's just, it is what it is, because I play that same hat right. I have the same hat right now. I play promoter also and trying to put people on my undercard and do different things. And I understand how it is. I understand the thinking behind it. You can't go for both guys. You can't go for both people because both people not gonna win. So you just want to, basically at the end of the day, as a promoter, you want to look out for your fighters. What you want to do is you want to give them a good fight and you want to give them the most exposure and you want to get them paid more as you can. And obviously Eddie delivered that.
Just curious, why do you think he's their guy as opposed to you?
I think just because he has a bigger following. That's the main thing. Bigger following and younger, and not only that, he worked with them before.
Yeah.
He was already with Metro. Yeah, he was with Eddie before. He was signed with them a while ago, then he left and then he came back. So yeah, that's what I think.
Okay. By the way, do you still believe that he had a loss, like erased from his record?
I'm not saying I believe it, but I just heard it. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay.
It happened in Mexico, and listen, I heard that I really did hear that it really happened. I'm not gonna say I believe it, but a few people told me that it really happened. They gave me actually the dude number, that it happened to. The Mexican dude, he fought. So, but I didn't call. I'm not digging into none of that. I don't care about none of that stuff. That's what I heard. And, for me, it's all he say, she say. I just brought it up and that's it.
I'm assuming you saw his last fight against Lomachenko. Who do you think won that fight?
I still thought he won the fight. I think it was a close fight. At first, I thought Loma won. Then you go back and watch and then you're like, all right, now he did enough because he was the champion. As the champion, did he take it from him? I don't think that Loma took it from him. Now, if it was just a Loma and Devin fighting, without the belts on the line, maybe Loma could have edged it out. It could have been a draw. But, with that being said, Devin was the champion. So it's like, did Loma do enough to take it from the champion? Probably not.
Okay. Do you think he's underestimating you?
Yeah.
Why?
I think so. I think he is, but I think now it might be starting to kick in, because it's like yesterday I heard Bill. So the thing is, his daddy is trying to get in my head, but it's totally not working at all, because I'm zoned, now I'm super zoned out. I'm like, I turn my phone off. I'm shut out from the outside world. Like I'm literally on the house phone in my hotel if I need to contact somebody. So I'm totally zoned out to the whole world right now. So it's like, yeah, I don't care about nothing. But, Bill was saying, oh, I saw you've been working on the right hook. But at first it was the left hand. Now it's the right hook. Obviously, it's one of the punches, right? I mean, all I got is two hands to hit the person. I don't have 3 or 4 hands, so it's only these two. So, he's like, I heard you've been working on the right hook. And at first it was like, all you guys are left hands. So I think right now they might be, I don't know if they kind of nervous or Bill just trying to play games, but, it's just, man, it's just not working. It's none of that stuff working right now. I'm super zoned in. I'm super locked. I'm super focused. So nothing they say is going to work.
Do you usually do that a few days before the fight? Turn off your phone, lock in like that?
I don't.
Really?
No, I don't. I never, man, this camp means so much to me to where I'm just doing so many things different, man. I've been in training camp, like double training camp. Like usually I do a 2-month training camp. I've been in training camp for 4 months for this fight. Usually I go to LA and train. I would stay in LA about 3 weeks. This time I did it for 2 months, away from my family, away from my kids, just really locking in. And I'm just doing everything that I feel I need to do, to ensure me success for this fight. And I did, man, like I did everything, and there's nothing else I can do. So I know for a guaranteed fact I'm going to have success. No matter what happens, it's going to be successful for me because I did everything. I cut no corners in training camp. I did like everything I need to do. I did, and that's how it is.
Does any of that have to do with the last performance and maybe things that you didn't do leading up to that fight or distractions leading up to that fight that affected the performance?
Yeah, of course. Both of those, yeah. I mean, the last fight was a short camp, and even the people around me and stuff like that, they said, man, the camp just felt like going through the motions. It didn't feel like a real fight camp. This fight camp is like a fight camp. Everybody's excited every day and just happy, and a happy fight is the best fighter. That's what they said. So, last camp, it was just like, just a lot of stuff, a lot of distraction, just all kinds of things going on. Didn't have really too much of a long camp. Opponent switched, and then the opponent came and he just ran around the ring the whole time. So it was just, all that was just coupled with a lot of stuff. But this camp is nowhere close to the same.
Is it almost better not fighting at home sometimes?
I think so,
yeah,
for sure. Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, I always say, man, I want to fight in New Orleans in the Superdome, but man, it'll be a nervous wreck because the thing about New Orleans is, it's a very small city and everybody's connected some type of way. I mean, like if you was from New Orleans and I start talking to you, if we start talking long enough, we will have some type of connection. Either, your mama was my school teacher or anything, that's how it is in New Orleans. So everybody's so connected. So you're talking about when I fought in New Orleans, I mean, I don't know how many tickets I had to give away to people. I think I spent like $60,000 on tickets.
Wow.
In New Orleans. I was like, most of the people was there. It was all my people, and I, gave away tickets and stuff. And then, when people want to come, they wonder where they sit and all that type of stuff. You just dealing with so much. You have so much on your plate. But when you're not fighting at home, like I'm fighting here, and I lived in California, so a lot of these people are my people. But it's just way less of a headache.
I know you're getting ready for your fight, but just curious, you mentioned his name earlier. Did you watch Ryan Garcia's win on Saturday?
Yeah, I watched. Mm-hmm.
What did you think of his performance?
He looked like, honestly, man, he didn't look too impressive. He got to do it out there, but he didn't look too impressive. I don't know what he was doing. He was turning his back a lot, but he is fast. He does have fast hands, so he got him. He got him out. He did his thing. Right now, I'm actually starting to I ain't like Ryan Garcia much, but I'm starting to like him. After this, I like him more because it's like, you have all this going against you and it still worked, and I kind of like that. Like, he went at it with Bernard Hopkins, he went at it with De La Hoya, and, it seemed like they wanted him to kind of lose, and he still went out there, he knocked the dude out. So it's kind of, I'm not going to say I like Ryan Garcia, but I don't know, I like that a little bit.
Do you think the Tank fight is the pinnacle of his career, or do you think he can get to a point where he's fighting the likes of you for belts?
No, I think he could fight me. No, I think he could fight me one day. That's what I want. I want to fight Ryan one day. Either him or Rolly, or whatever. For me, I want the big fights. That's what I want. So, yeah, maybe one day we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Do you think he beats Rolly?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. They like what and what. Rolly is real sloppy, but he has a lot of power, and I don't know if they had a clip of them sparring and it looked like Rolly was whooping them. So I don't know. I don't know what happens with them two. I kind of think they're on the even playing field, really.
Back in September, and this is the last thing, when this fight was announced, I was like, man, you know what? I respect Devin Haney for going up to 140 to fight the best 140 pounder, because he could have stayed at 135 and defended his titles, and who knows who's out there he could fight. There's a lot of good guys at 135. I got so much shit for that, Regis. People are like, he's ducking Shakur. Right. He's ducking Shakur. That's the fight. Now Shakur has somewhat of a lackluster fight. Now everyone's like, all right, this was the fight. And I couldn't believe that people, and I don't know if it was just because of like a what have you done for me lately thing. I couldn't believe that people were like, this isn't the fight. This was the huge challenge, him going up to fight you at 140. And so I'm just wondering, A, what did you think of Shakur's fight? And B, did you feel that same way? Did you feel like people were kind of like looking down on this decision from Devin to fight you and thinking that Shakur was a tougher fight for him, because I thought that him going up to fight you was a tougher challenge than him fighting Shakur. Not because Shakur isn't as good as you, but he's a little bit younger and he's his weight. And so this to me was the bigger test. And so just those two things I was wondering about. First off, what did you think about Shakur's last performance?
He had a bad night. I think Shakur had an off night. He had a bad night. You know, I don't know what's going through his head mentally, but you know, that's the thing. I had one too, and we all had them. Floyd had them. Andre Ward had them. Everybody had off nights before, and that's just, you know, sometimes you just have that. You know, it's all about how you come back. So the thing is, in boxing, you know, it's you know, they always judge you off your last fight. You're only as good as your last fight, you know, so that's what people are looking at right now. But yeah, I think Shakur is super skilled. You know, I mean, him work together and stuff, but Shakur is real good. He's super skilled. But I think he just had a bad night. He had an off night, you know, and wrong opponent, off night. That's all.
You're a massive underdog going into this one. Does that annoy you?
Man, I've been an underdog my whole life, bro. I've been an underdog. I beat the odds already. It don't matter about that. I beat the odds in life. So this doesn't matter.
Love it. Can't wait for it, man.
Literally don't matter at all.
I love that attitude. Can't wait for it. I wish you the best. Thanks for giving us some time today, and good luck the rest of the week.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
All right, there he is, Regis Prograis. What a fight. What a guy. Can't wait. If you're a casual fan of boxing, watch this fight. And look, there's a chance that, you know, not every fight is going to live up to its billing, but I just think it's the best. And it's a solid weekend of fights. Don't get me wrong. PFL Europe, God bless you if you're in North America and able to figure out a way to watch it. You know, UFC at the Apex, there's a little something for everyone. I think the co-main, the chief support is more interesting than the main. Anthony Smith taking that fight on short notice against Khalil Rountree Jr. is a really interesting fight at 205. Khalil has been on a roll. I don't know why they keep putting him at the Apex, but nevertheless. And then you've got Chris Gutierrez versus Song Yadong. But this card is great. This main event is great, to be honest. And GC told me earlier, Regis is the dog, right? A pretty big dog. Plus, would you say 400?
No, last I saw minus 400 for Devin Haney. So like plus 3 something coming back. He's like plus 670 to get the knockout that he's talking about. And I can't wait for this fight. Regis done an excellent job of selling it.
He has. He really has. Both of them have in their own way. And the press conference is later today. Devin Haney, 30-0 against Regis Prograis, 29-1 for the super lightweight title. Also, Liam Paro of Australia. Liam Paro fought on, I think it was the second Woodley-Paul card, or Paul Woodley card. And he's fighting a guy who fought on the first Paul Woodley card. That was in Cleveland, Montana Love, who's a lot of fun. He showed up with his dog. I think he usually shows up with his dog. Andy Cruz, an Olympic gold medalist from Cuba. He's also fighting on the card. Ebony Bridges is the Australian boxer who always shows up with Conor McGregor. Beatriz Ferreira is of Brazil and is managed by the same individual, Brian Peters, who manages Katie Taylor, and he told me that she is going to be incredible. She is only 3-0, but that she is the next big thing. And he would know. He's got quite the stable. So, yeah, solid card. The Zone pay-per-view. Main card at 9 p.m. Eastern, 7 fights total. Chase Center. YouTube prelims. Matchroom. Check it out. All right. Let us move along to our next guest. And a reminder that at 3:30, we are going to be joined by Alex the Great Volkanovski. First time that we get a chance to speak to him since, of course, the loss to Issam Makhachev in late October in Abu Dhabi. But wanted to talk to our next guest because there's a lot going on in his life and career. We spoke to him after his last fight, another win, but a lot has changed since then. And we have talked to him, especially last time, about, all right, what's the future? What's Bellator doing? This and that. Well, now we know PFL acquired Bellator just a few weeks ago. He was at the finale. In fact, you all remember that I was talking to Don Davis and said to him, hey, you should bring out the likes of Johnny Eblen and Patrick Biggs. And what did you know? 5 days later, they were sitting there cage side. But where does he go from here? What are the plans? How does he feel? What does he think? What about the champion versus champion card? All these questions need to be answered. So let us say hello to the reigning defending Bellator middleweight champion, Johnny Eblen. Hey, Johnny, how are you?
What's up, Ariel? How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for joining us again. By the way, am I the reason why you were at the finale? Because I did say to him, and he had no plans. Like, did you get the call and say, hey, Helwani had a good idea? I mean, can I take some credit for this?
I think you can, man, because after you kind of put it out there, I was getting hit up. So,
The whole crew
quite
was there.
possibly you could have been the whole crew. Me and Patchy, I saw Patchy there. Jason Jackson was there. Patricio was there. It was a cool little event. It was interesting. There's a lot of questions up in the air. Some of them are excited. I had some questions, but we'll see. We'll see where it goes, and we'll kind of figure it out as we go. I think some answers will be given, as time passes, but right now, nothing really too much.
Okay, well, let me ask you, being at the event, what did you think of it? Obviously, you've been at, Bellator for so long, and I know you've been to other events, but, sitting there, taking it all in, what'd you make of the show?
They had a good team. It seemed like they put on a pretty good production. The fans that were there were pretty hyped. But the event was really long.
Yeah.
I can't say that it was, action packed the whole time. It was just such a long event. And I'm just like, I feel like you need to break this up. This is too much in one night. It gets long. You get, kind of tired of sitting there and kind of waiting for the grand finale. And it's just such a long event, man.
Yeah.
I think they definitely could break that up.
Yeah. It's a lot of title fights, 6 title fights, a lot of them going the distance, just makes for a really long night. When you're sitting there and you're seeing some of the other champions go in and do the face-off and you're not taking part in that, and we'll get into perhaps why in a moment, but like, did you feel, like, were you getting antsy? Did you say, like, I want to walk in there, I want to do something?
I really didn't care. If they told me they wanted me to go in after maybe the Brunson fight, I was down to do that. There's no champ at middleweight, so I didn't really see them doing like a face-off. I know they were doing the face-off with champs versus champs, but technically, no middleweight champ. I could have seen like maybe me going in after Impa won, because I don't think Nemkov is planning to make 205 again. So possibly you could make that fight. It's champ versus champ at different weight classes, but I mean, I'm down to do that.
How would you feel fighting at 205?
I mean, if it's a one-off thing, for like a champ versus champ or for a belt, I'm completely down for it. But I don't think I'm really like up to actually like move up a weight class, maybe later on in my career if I don't want to cut as much weight. But to do super fights, I think it makes sense for me.
Either that night or since the acquisition, have you had a conversation with the new owners?
Yeah. I actually spoke with them at the event, and then Brian, my manager, Sucker Punch, he's been in contact with them, and we've kind of been going back and forth. There's no real solid answers. There's some hearsay and like we'll maybe do this, but there's nothing solid. There's nothing in writing. No one signed anything. So it's sounding like they have a plan for me, that they want me to fight often. I'm kind of pushing them to fight me often, at least, 3 times, if not 4 times. But, there's no real plan set for me yet, except for maybe a fight in February. That's the only thing I've really heard.
Okay. Would the fight in February perhaps be against Derek Brunson?
I think that's the one that they want to make.
Okay.
And if they can, I'm 1,000% down to do that. I think that's on schedule with, me fighting at least 3 times that year or next year. So I would be very, very happy if they got me on a card in February fighting Derek Brunson.
What do you think of his win over Ray Cooper?
I mean, he did what he needed to do to get the win. And I think it would have been a little bit different if, PFL allowed elbows. Yeah. That's another thing I'm going to try to see. Like, I don't understand why you wouldn't allow elbows in a competition that's outside of a tournament aspect. Or like, why wouldn't you just allow elbows at the end, because you don't have to fight again very soon. So Agreed. It would make sense to allow elbows. Yeah. So maybe I think he did good though. Like, he's a veteran. He didn't look amazing, but he did enough to get the win. Got a win over a tough guy, and good for him. Happy for him.
Couldn't agree more. By the way, non-tournament fights or tournament finales, elbows have to be included. And they say like, oh, it's not the same rules going in. Well, first of all, non-tournament fights are non-tournament fights, and it's just that's MMA. Like that's a major weapon, right? Especially for a wrestler, you need those elbows.
Yeah, especially if you're on top and you have like good top control and you can frame the face and elbow, dude. You can end fights there, especially even from bottom, dude. Even from the clinch, there's a lot of in close quarters. It's hard to throw punches and kicks, so you got to use elbows.
No,
so I think it's a big advantage to be able to use those weapons.
Would that fight interest you? Like, do you like the idea of fighting Derek Brunson?
Yeah, man. I honestly, anybody at this point.
Okay. I'll
fight Derek Brunson. I'll fight Impa. I'll go up. I'll fight Jake Paul if he wants to fight me. I don't really think he wants to. I'd fight Aaron Jeffrey, even though he's a Bellator guy. Any fight they want to make, man. I'm completely down to get in the cage and get after it. I just want to fight early and often.
So I saw your tweet a couple days ago where you said you want to fight, and then I saw Aaron quote tweeted today, I think it was, saying like, "Let's go, let's do it." We're showing it right now. Me too. Let's do it. He said. You said I want to fight ASAP. What interests you more, Brunson or the younger up and coming Aaron Jeffrey?
They're both interesting to me. Whoever honestly gets me the quickest fight, that's what I'm most interested about. I really don't care at this point. It's more about what PFL wants to do with me and what fight they want to make ASAP, and who obviously it sounds like Aaron wants to fight, but it sounds like the fight in February, they want to do like PFL versus Bellator.
Yeah.
So he might not fit into that, but let's maybe do a quick turnaround. I'll fight Aaron right after that. And I'm happy to do that as well,
When I spoke to Don Davis, he had mentioned that everyone's kind of going to have an opportunity to decide like which path they want to go, the non-tourney fights, which would be Bellator, or the tournament route. Is it possible that you can go into PFL and they start at 185 division and you go through the tournament type thing, the season?
It sounds like they want to do that in 2025.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if it was on your show? It might have been on somebody else. He might have said something else on another show, or I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure he stated that he wanted to build a division for bantamweight and middleweight in 2025. So it sounds like he wants to keep the same weight classes for tournaments right now, and then build out those weight classes for tournaments in the following year. So that's the only issue I kind of have. I'm like, well, are we just going to sit back and not really do much until then? Or you going to at least let us, fight 3 times or 4 times while we wait for you to build out division for us?
Okay. I guess maybe the answer to that is maybe it's too far. Like they probably have most of the guys signed for 2024. So that's what they'd have to do in 2025. And you guys could do the non-tourney fights. Are you okay with that? Like, if they do these international 8 cards, these Bellator cards, do you feel like that's an okay place for you in your career right now? Or do you feel like, I don't know, it's not enticing? Like, does this get you excited? Are you excited about this new chapter, or do you feel sort of like a feather floating in the wind here?
Somewhat a feather floating in the wind because I have no definite answers.
Yeah.
I will be excited if they can put something on paper like, hey, man, we're going to fight you at least 3 times this year. I'm like, okay, I'm excited to jump on. But it's just the fact of not radio silence. They've kind of, gone back and forth with us, but nothing definitive. Nothing like, hey, man, like they're saying that they're going to take care of me. They're saying that, they're excited for me and that I'm a top priority. And I believe them, but I just got to see, something on paper, something that's, actually giving me proof that, hey, I am a priority.
And there's no out for you, right? Like you can't just say, I'm out.
I just got to fight my way out, man. If I think the only way I could get out is like not fight. And I don't want to do that. Like,
sure.
I'd rather just fight my way out of a contract. And, I got 5 fights left. So it is what it is. I'm just down to get in there and scrap and showcase my skills every time I go in there. So as long as they fight me often, I'm not going to be too unhappy. You know, I'll be pretty happy with that.
Sure. No, the reason I was asking was I didn't know if there was any type of clause. I know I asked on this question, but from your perspective, like they buy the company, can you leave if you want? But apparently not.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think whoever acquires mine, as long as they honor my contract, like that, there's nothing I can do. So it's just like if they don't honor the contract and they break it, then I have a way out. But I don't think they're going to do that. You know,
you guys were like,
I think they see me as a valuable asset.
Oh, 100%. You guys were like a month and a half away from all being free agents. Would that have been fun? Like if Showtime would
I think that would have been fun.
It would have just been like a free for all.
Yeah, and I think, you know, it would have been cool to see, you know, what deals would have been made with certain guys and where people would have went and how the landscape would have changed. But I'm not too upset with, you know, PFL acquiring Bellator either. You know, they did what they did. And, you know, a part of me is a little excited to see what's, you know, next. But a part of me is also wishing like, man, I wish they would have let it crash and burn and like, we could have seen what would have happened, you know? So
how do you feel about the Bellator name being kept?
It's interesting. I think it makes sense though. They're trying to keep the brand loyalty a little bit. But they're kind of changing it. No, they're doing like the Bellator championship.
Yeah. But it's still
they're
the name
keeping
and the brand.
in a sense. Yeah. I think they're just trying to keep the brand name a little bit alive. But at the end of the day, we're all PFL fighters. So yeah.
Man,
just the name.
No, I know.
Yeah.
You know, I was just talking to a famous boxer named Regis Prograis. I don't know if you're a big boxing fan, but
I like to watch a lot of boxing, but I feel like I've probably watched him a few times.
He has a fight this weekend against Devin Haney for the 140-pound
okay,
title.
I know Devin Haney. So
yeah, there's just so much. There's a lot of co-promotion these days in boxing. There's an event on December 23rd in Saudi Arabia where there's 12 promoters working together. Could you imagine that? We don't even get one promoter working with another promoter in the sport. I mean, I know, okay, it's unfair to Coker. Coker would work sometimes with Ryzen and Sakakibara. But, like, could you imagine you versus Sean Strickland? Could you next year, you know? Could you imagine these things? Do you dream these things?
Man.
Do you dream about it?
I'm sure Sean would love that.
Yeah.
Sean would love that. Everybody would love that. I think it'd be the best thing that could have happened in the MMA space. I think that's a good thing that boxing does to keep their sport alive, that they can do the co-promotions. And I mean, you're just building the sport altogether when you do that. And it's just a shame that we're in the position that we're in and we don't do the co-promotions.
Yeah. That's why the PFL Bellator thing is kind of fun, because it's sort of like a fake co-promotion, even though it's now owned by the same company. But there are these matchups that we could see. It just sucks that they don't have a 185. But arguably the two best champions coming over are the champions of two weight classes that they don't have in their promotion. Kind of weird how that worked out.
Yeah, I feel like if they did have those weight classes, it would have been way more interesting.
Yeah.
And I think the fake co-promotion would have been a little bit bigger, you know, especially if they had like a good guy at 85 and a good guy at bantamweight, you know. But that's why it just sucks, man. Like, it's like, I wish the UFC would be open to that type of shit, but they just don't want to do that. And it's just like, it's so sad because it's like there's more money to be made. There's big fights to make. There's, you know, you would literally just build the sport and you would just make it better. And we're just like, no, we're not going to do it. It's just like, it kills me sometimes, man. It kills me.
Does it kill you to the point where eventually you're going to have to scratch that itch?
Possibly. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I think I'm just going to take one day at a time, continue to get better. And see where life takes me and see where, you know, this journey all ends. And, you know, at the end, hopefully I'm getting my hand raised and I'm at the top.
And you versus Hamza would be something. You versus Bo Nickel down the line. Could you imagine that?
Bro, I would love those fights, man. Those are things I really like. Those are fights I fucking dream of, man. But it's just like, I'm getting Derek Brunson or Aaron Jeffrey. And I'm not trying to play them down. They're great fighters too, but it's just not they're not in the limelight like these other guys, you know. They don't have the notoriety like these other guys. So It is what it is, man. I'm in a position where I'm not super unhappy either. I make good money. I'm living well. I'm healthy. I'm relatively happy. I just bought a new house. I love it. Have a great girlfriend. I got 2 dogs. They're awesome. And life's good. So I can't be too, pessimistic about everything.
Could I ask about someone who is in the limelight, but maybe not in your crosshairs, but I saw something recently that I thought was interesting. You posted something quite lengthy about Gordon Ryan and about steroids.
Yeah.
What compelled you to do that? Basically, I know his comments were that, everyone should be allowed to use steroids, and then you posted a picture, and I think we're going to show the picture here, the side by side, and you wrote that's 1, 2, 3, that's 4 long paragraphs there about your feelings towards this. What compelled you to, and for those that may not have read it, if you could share your thoughts as well.
I just don't think it's a good way to promote athletes to do this type of stuff, because you have to understand athletes have a big influence on kids and young athletes and even college athletes. And I just don't think it's a route that is sustainable for the long run for, people's health. And just for sport, like one big thing that really pops up to me is when Bisping lost an eye to frickin' Vitor Belfort, and he was TRT Vitor, you know? And does that happen if he's not on fucking TRT? I don't know. But instances like that can happen because guys are, juiced to the gills. And I just don't agree. I mean, don't get me wrong. The guy's amazing at what he does. Gordon is the best of the best, right? I just don't agree with him on a certain point when it comes to PEDs. I'm just anti-PED. I just don't think it's good for humans, man. Especially for, kids to be doing that shit. You might have the influence to have a kid do it, and that might ruin their life in the long run. They might end up a train wreck later on, So that's just kind of my viewpoint on it. I don't agree with it. And I think I'm pretty much anti-PED and just stay away from that shit, man.
Do you think that it's a problem in MMA? Are a lot of guys using it?
I mean, when PFL did the testing, a lot of guys popped. A lot of promotions don't like to test because they just want the guys to perform. And cool, they can do that. But what are they going to look like when they're 60 years old, man? What are their bodies going to be like? Because they're probably doing it now to be an entertainer. But I mean, you're a human first. You're an entertainer second. Mm-hmm. So it's maybe you go on a tear. You're an entertainer for 20 years or 15 years, but what's the rest of your life going to look like, So, I'm here trying to root for humanity to be in a better place, regardless of where you're at in your life, whether you're an entertainer, an old guy, a young guy, just don't take shit that's going to, have repercussions later.
Do you think that, are a lot of, has this ever happened to you? Has someone ever come up to you and said, you're good, but you could be a lot better if you do X, Y, and Z?
I've actually had guys, I don't know if they're fucking with me. They're like, are you on something?
Oh, wow.
Nah, man. Because I have really good cardio. So they're like,
that's a good compliment.
You take shit, huh? I'm like, nah, man, hard work, hard work. No, I've actually never had a guy come up and state that to me, actually. I think more so guys just do it because I think some guys do it because they feel like other guys are doing it. So they feel like they have to do it to level the playing field, which is even worse.
Right.
It's there's guys out there that don't even want to fucking do the shit, but they're forced to do it in a way because they know everybody else is doing it. And, that can't be good. Right. Or am I crazy?
No, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like having a level playing field via, hey, no one's going to take shit, I think is the best way to go about it. So, hopefully not PFL. I know the UFC is not going to use USADA anymore.
Yeah.
But hopefully, they're still going to do testing, but with another company. And hopefully they're, doing a good job in keeping the playing field level and healthy.
Did the old regime in Bellator do a good enough job?
I feel like they did a pretty good job. But there's some guys I look at them like, how the fuck? I feel like they're still on shit. Like some of them are still figuring out ways to get around
100%, yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? That's a problem, I think. Like when I really look at it, I'm like, man, they must be super fucking paranoid then. Like just constantly, just having that paranoia at your back. Like,
oh my God, yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, and then you're probably having to do all this crazy stuff to make sure you don't get caught. It's like, man, I'd rather just not take anything and just fucking go all natural, you know? It just seems easier that way.
By the way, speaking of the gym, just curious your take on this. Arman Tsarukyan had a huge win on Saturday, ATT guy. And I had him on the show on Monday. And I was just curious, you know, we were talking about who he might fight next. And I kind of ruled out Dustin because Dustin's an ATT guy. And he was, you know, he's kind of stone-faced. He's a little bit terrifying, if I'm not going to lie. I mean, I thought maybe he was
he's a killer, man.
Yeah, I was a little bit afraid of him, if I'm being honest. But he had no problem with fighting Dustin. Like most guys these days, like, no, I'm not fighting a quote-unquote teammate. He's like, yeah, I'll train here. He trains there, no problem. Do you think that would be weird?
Yeah. I just don't think that'd be a fight that would happen, to be honest.
Okay.
But Arman is a killer dude. Like, congrats on his knockout. Like, holy shit, that dude is awesome. I'm so happy for him. But yeah, I don't think that's something. That's not a fight I even want to see. You know, like I'm close with Dustin though too, so maybe that's why. And I just don't like seeing teammates fight. You know, guys that train in the same gym when they don't even have to. They don't have to. There's other guys out there that they could fight. So. Yeah, we'll see, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Okay. So in conclusion, you're not going anywhere. You still have 5 fights left. You're down. You're excited about the future. You just want to fight. You want some clarity. You like the February idea. I had heard February too. I heard maybe even in the Middle East. I don't know. If it's a champion.
Never been? Well, no, I've been. So I just lied.
Good to go back.
Yeah, I want to go back.
You versus Derek, you're in. You versus Aaron, you're in. You want 3 fights, preferably.
Even Impa. I'll go up a weight class.
You'll go Impa.
Even Impa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck it.
By the way, where's Vadim going? He's going to 85?
No. Vadim, I think he's going heavyweight.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I think he is. Yeah. Unless I'm completely wrong, but I'm pretty sure that he was stating he wasn't going to fight 205 anymore.
Okay, all right. But I feel like we accomplished some things here. We got some clarity. I liked it when they interviewed you in the in the middle of the fight at the finale, and you were like very like, I don't know what's going on. I'm just kind of
dude. I was just like felt like I was in an episode of The Office.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, this is a little awkward.
Yeah.
I have no fucking clue what's going on right now. But they're doing face-offs, like, but we don't know if these guys are going to actually fight. Like, and it's like, when are they going to fight? Where are they going to fight? What are the rules? Are we going to have elbows? Like, I'm just over here just like with giant question marks over my head.
Yeah, that came across. But I do appreciate the honesty as opposed to kind of like lying to the people. You were very transparent and honest. So I do appreciate that. And I think it will all work out. I think those guys have a plan. I just think this all came together rather quickly here at the end.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens in 2024. Good luck to you, my man. Thank you for coming on. Appreciate it. Happy holidays. Congrats on a great 2023 and looking forward to what's next for you.
Thanks, Ariel. Thanks for always having me on, man. I always enjoy coming on. But yeah, happy holidays and enjoy the holiday season, man.
Same to you. There he is, Johnny Eblen, still the Bellator middleweight champion. And going to be a huge player in 2024 and for the new owners. Ended the year 2-0 in 2023. Beat Anatoly Tokov back in February. That was the CBS card, which feels like it was 15 years ago now. And beat Fabian Edwards, of course, in Dublin. Back in September, we're going to answer a couple questions here before we get to Alex Volkanovski at 3:30. But first, I do want to tell you once again about our good friends over at Cash App. We love Cash App. Oh, by the way, it's past 2:30. Do we have an update on the game?
Yeah, no scores.
I want to see the fruits of the labor.
Mm-hmm.
No, not that. Wait, did they just score?
No.
We have the ticker. Don't we have the ticker? We have the score of the bug.
Yeah, we got the ticker.
Where is it? We rehearsed this for like 30 minutes before the show.
Coming down the old pipe.
I mean, I don't think we've ever rehearsed anything longer than this.
Yep. And it is on its way. Good interview with Johnny Eblen.
Great ad read.
Almost there. There. Had to will that one up there.
And look at the clock is running.
Oh yeah, and it's spot on too.
I'm nervous about this. I mean, this is pretty much the season, if I'm being honest.
I mean, Fulham just had a free kick that was quite close to going in. Quite close.
Away from the City Ground. 3 losses in a row, which I read yesterday, longest losing streak of any team in the top division of any league in any country in Europe.
Yeah, but that's all right. Tottenham just got off a three-game losing skid. By the way, you got a log in? My free preview runs.
I only have 29 minutes.
What?
Yeah. I mean, I got the Peacock, but
you don't. What do you mean you got to log in? What does that mean?
On Big USA.
Oh, this one's on Big USA. You could go on NBCSports.com and put in your cable provider. Do you not have cable?
No, I don't have cable.
What in the world?
Cutting the wires.
What is wrong with you guys? Fulham versus. So this is it. It's Helwani versus Khan.
Yeah,
This is it.
it's big stuff.
Tony, any remarks?
That's the busiest.
Interesting.
Did he reply yet? Any tweets? Anything?
No, nothing.
No Shivani tagging?
Shivani said, "Go Fulham," but that's it.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Shivani said, "Go F yourself."
No.
That would be amazing, by the way, because he called me. What did he call me? He called me. God, what did he call me? It was a great line. He called me. He called me like a dick licker or something. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. Anyway, we'll keep. Can we keep that up during On the Nose?
Yep.
Perfect. Just want to check in from time to time because it's obviously going to happen in real time. Guys, want perks without a premium? Cash App cards offer you the best of both worlds. Discounts and offers for free because it's not a perk if you pay for it. But the word perk is thrown around a lot these days. So let's outline what is a perk on the Cash App card and what is not. Discounts on your favorite retailers like Target, Nike, Old Navy, and Sephora. That's a Cash App card perk. Piggyback rides from an NBA All-Star, perhaps such as Julius Randle, who had a great game yesterday. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for us. That's okay. Hate the NBA in season tournament anyway. Not a Cash App card perk. Pre-sales to concerts like Drake, Kendrick, and Karol G. Cash App card perk. Convincing your roommate to do the dishes. Not a Cash App card perk. Discounts on places like Vivid Seats and Booking.com. All Cash App card perks. Getting your ex to see your story. Not a Cash App card perk. But no hidden fees. Yep. Cash App perk with no hidden fees. They got them. Hope that clears it up. Cash App offers premium rewards without the premium cost. That's money. That's Cash App. Download Cash App from the App Store or Google Play and start collecting those perks today. Time now for everyone's favorite segment of the week. It is time.
It's time for a good old-fashioned Q&A, MMA fans.
Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the moment has arrived to hear from the man himself,
Yes.
Ariel Helwani. Live from the Box Studios in beautiful New York City. It's On the Nose.
Frank, you sent me the
And
questions,
now,
right?
To answer your
I
questions,
certainly did.
get out of
How
your
were they
seats
this week?
and
Last
on
week you
your
said a
feet
little bit
because here he
underwhelming.
is,
Back on track.
Ariel Helwani.
Felt like you were a little underwhelmed. Yeah. By the way, GC, did you watch Arsenal Luton Town yesterday?
No, I didn't.
I feel like you're kind of out of the soccer game. I mean, you're wearing a what
is this?
So a Tuesday.
I'm the one texting every time. What a comeback in Champions League by Man City.
Oh,
I'm the one at the sports bar, at the soccer bar.
Arsenal Luton Town was nuts. Luton Town up 3-2.
Yesterday, man.
Arsenal ties, and then they score in the 97th minute. Declan Rice.
Wow,
it's incredible. Hey, I want to give a big congratulations to our guy Adeola Oladipo, who is hosting for Prime Video Sport in the UK. His first Premier League match. I think it's Bournemouth against Crystal Palace. But he's incredible. Very, very happy for him. We don't get that coverage over here, but I'm sure he's killing it over there. for that match and for their upcoming matches in December. Where is this? I'm looking. What is this message here from John? From Joe? This can't be serious. Is it serious?
No,
Okay.
but it is serious that he won't be able to join.
Okay. If I say it, Eric's going to get so mad. Oh, wow. Okay. Eric is not going to join us because he lost his power.
Yeah. Getting crazy in Amityville.
Oof. Cole, good day, Ariel and crew. Could you dive deeper into the emails released in recent weeks from the antitrust lawsuit? Seeing the conversation between the UFC on lowballing Diaz was interesting but surreal. First of all, it shouldn't be surreal because I've been telling you guys about this for like 10 years now. We see their intentions unfold in real time with fight bookings and media days and press releases, but there's something about actually seeing these emails that's bizarre but not surprising at the same time. Much love. So we got to give a big shout out to John Nash, who works for Bloody Elbow, who's done a great job. Along with others, Eric McGracken comes to mind too. And there are several others as well who have done a great job of covering this particular story, which is the ongoing class action. No! Why did you have to do this? Oh, damn you, Tony Khan. They really scored, or is this is a ruse, right? Oh my God.
What ruse? No.
Whose idea is this? Who scored? Who is it? What a freaking buzzkill. I'm going home. That's it. Whose idea was that with that face? Let's see the face again. Can we see it one more time? Oh my God, I didn't even put in my thing. By the way, you did the Tony, he always gets one up on me. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
What happened? I couldn't even sign in. We were just talking about this.
So no worries, I got signed in.
And what happened?
I actually was looking away, and then I turned, and it looked like it may have been an offsides.
VAR check?
No, didn't even check the VAR. They just went straight to it.
No, we say VAR.
Whoa! Man, we faded it off early. We went through all that, and we didn't even get the payoff.
By the way, who put the one there? Was it Frank?
Yeah, that was Frank.
You were quick on the draw.
It has a feed straight from the game.
Nice.
We were supposed
That's
to
high-tech stuff there, Frankie.
We can't watch it, but we could get the score all the time.
You were quick on the draw there with the one.
There's a few steps
I'm
I have to
conducting
do.
a band back here.
Rub the tummy, pat the
completely
head.
blew
Come
it.
on.
Alex Iwobi, 30th minute.
All right, it's fine. We're gonna get back on track. No problem. Anyway, a little bit sad now. You get rid of the score. We don't need to see it now. I don't want to see that. You be gone. So anyway, John Nash, he's been covering this, doing a great job. And yes, as part of the process now, they've gone into this this stage. I'm no lawyer, but discovery, and there's the release of emails and correspondence, and I guess more are coming out. And there's a schedule of different important dates. I'm just thinking about the picture.
That's all.
It's ridiculous. And no, really?
No, just messing with
you. Oh, come on.
Oh, God.
Wait, what was going on? No, really?
Oh, yeah.
They scored again?
Yes, no. As Frank was doing that.
Come on. No way.
Oh, this is a nightmare.
You're kidding me. This can't be real.
Literally as Frank was doing this.
This can't be real.
Oh, this is a beautiful ball, too.
It's a great ball. It's a nice touch.
Oh.
Is it a classy strike?
There's a chance at off.
VAR.
Oh, no, never mind. I think
Come on. Go to the box. Go to the screen. This can't be. Get it out. Oh my God. My mood has been ruined. Is it really 2-0? I'm going to my Twitter feed here. This can't be.
No, yeah. It's real. Great ball.
Is it great ball?
I mean, great goal. Everything. The ball movement. It was.
It's a nice touch.
Yeah, it was class.
It was class. Was it a professional strike?
Yeah, certainly now. It had to be him.
2-0. Jimenez finds the net. I mean, God.
Goalie's down 2.
Goalie's down 2?
Yeah, and he's getting checked out.
Bring in Matt Turner.
Yeah.
You know what my fear is? My fear is that Cooper's getting sacked.
I was going to say.
No, it's not the time for this. It's not the time.
Every time.
Oh, yeah,
Cooper
Matt
gets
Turner's warming up. I think Turner's about to head out there.
All right. Is it fitting? You're wearing the shirt. USA's on.
Yeah. There's a sign.
Anyway, back to the question. Anyway, he did a bunch of emails came out. What is the meaning of life? But yes, no, I've been telling you guys for ages, especially when it comes to Nate, part of the negotiation is, I mean, some of these emails are fascinating. It feels a little weird to be reading stuff that you feel like you shouldn't be reading. But it's Joe Silva, who was known to be a very tough negotiator, dare I say ruthless at times. Did the job that he had to do for the people that he was working for. And, in there, he's like, hey, if he doesn't take this, let's put him on the prelims against a tough guy. And it's just, this is business, right? And let's not pretend that if you, lift the hood on anyone's business, that it's all going to be, peaches and lollipops. And there's always going to be stuff there. And it just so happens that we've reached a point in this class action lawsuit, somewhat shockingly that we've reached this point, where we're now finally being privy. And it feels like we're entering a moment with the class action lawsuit and with the UFC now being a part of TKO and being a public company, that we're getting a lot more information about the business. So like I said yesterday, Mark Shapiro, who his exact title for TKO, what is his exact title for TKO? Let me just get this right. TKO Group. I think it's COO. President Mark Shapiro. He's the COO. Yeah, he's the COO of TKO Group. He was at this conference yesterday, and I mean, the information is incredible because we've just never been privy to any of this. The UBS Media Conference, and he's talking about $200 million in sponsorship sales. He's talking about site fee from the Saudi Arabia event for $20 million. He's talking about a $25 million site fee for Abu Dhabi. He's talking about $16 million for 3 events from the Australian government. This is what we're talking about. The UFC, they are booming right now. This is, by the way, this is not like nefarious stuff. This is just business. They are going to go to places that are going to pay them to hold events. That's where they're at right now. And he was also talking about, which was wild because on Monday I was talking to someone, how the UFC Octagon is just filled with sponsorship right now. It's just the cage is just littered with sponsorship. And it's funny because back in the day, Lorenzo Fertitta said the reason why they wanted to get rid of the fighter sponsorship look and the banners because they didn't want the fighters to look like NASCAR cars. And now the cage looks like that. The mat looks like that. And I was wondering with this person that I was talking to if the WWE ring was going to turn out that way, look that way, end up looking that way. And in this conference, he mentioned that they are highly considering that, and that in the past, Vince McMahon, his thought process was like the ring is sacred and we don't touch it. And there have been some moments, like I remember WCW back in the day, Halloween Havoc had the Slim Jim, and AEW in the past has had DraftKings. But WWE, for the most part, they will do like the Mountain Dew match and like the Cinnamon Toast Crunch thing with Rey Mysterio, but they keep the ring relatively clean. It sounds like the ring, the apron, the mat, the ropes, they're all open for business. He said that he won't rest until UFC is making $1 billion in sponsorship money. I mean, they are just killing it right now. And, I talk about this until I'm blue. There's no revenue sharing is wild to me. It's so wild to me that people will bring up they bring up the NFL. They compare themselves to the NFL and they say, this is the reason why the fighters can't wear whatever they want, or, NFL and NBA make this amount in sponsorship, this and that. And then when it comes, everything is comparing to the NFL, the NBA, MLB, soccer, whatever, NHL. And then when it comes to what the actual athletes should get, that's when the conversation stops. They want everything to be like those sports except for the revenue sharing, except for the collective bargaining. And I just can't believe that there aren't enough fighters who sit there and say, wait a second, that's cool. Get your TV deals, get your sponsorship deals. This is the greatest business ever for Endeavor to get into. WWE and UFC, it's the best. We can make all this money and not have to share the piece of the pie, not give out, I don't know what the breakdown is in WWE. That's less clear at this point, but 18 or so percent, 20%. Let's be extremely generous and say even 25. That's still 25% less than what every other major athlete gets. So anyway, it's a fascinating time with this lawsuit and with the business being a lot more public and open. It's really interesting days. And also interesting, in 2 years, the ESPN deal comes up. The Peacock pay-per-view deal and the ESPN deal come up at around the same time. They're like a few months off. He had mentioned that they're considering packaging those together. That could be a potential thing where maybe they package the pay-per-view deal. Maybe they sell Fight Pass like WWE sold the network to Peacock, essentially, here in the States. It's a lot of big things to come, and there's a lot of money to be made. Andre, hello, Ariel, longtime listener from Iceland. 2 questions. First, is there any truth to GSP versus Nick Diaz 2 for UFC 300? I have not heard that at all, and I would be shocked if that happened. I don't know where that... Did someone say that? GSP was supposed to compete in a grappling match this weekend, or next weekend. No, this weekend, December 10th. And he pulled out from that. Remember that whole announcement? And it just kind of like fizzled off. So I would be surprised. Do we really want to see Nick fight again? Don't get me wrong. I'm a big fan of the Diaz brothers, but I feel like he has nothing to prove. And his fight against Lawler, he didn't look like he wanted to be there. Agreed. Second question, do we have any update on when we see Gunnar Nelson fight again? Kind regards from Andre. No, maybe when they go back to Europe in the early spring, March, maybe. But I have not heard anything about Gunnar Nelson. No, he's out there training. But more importantly here, GSP Nick Diaz, I've not heard, and I do not want to see that. No. Wish Nick Diaz had a ton of money where he never had to consider doing any of this ever again. I know GSP is well off, but there's just no interest, in my opinion, in seeing that. Daniel, hey Ariel, with UFC 298 going down in Anaheim, California, I can't help but wonder, do you think the UFC will ever bring an event to the Tachi Palace as a gesture of gratitude for standing by them in the early days of the pandemic? Happy early Hanukkah. Yes, same to you as well. Tomorrow, it's the first day of the Festival of Life. Life? No, lights. What? And life, but no, lights. It should happen. For the newer fans out there, they wanted to go to Tachi Palace in the very early days of the pandemic, and they had a deal in place. And then as the story goes, Disney put the kibosh and pulled the plug on that because it just was very early and the times were a little bit tumultuous. And everyone just didn't know what was going on. It just didn't seem like it was something that needed to happen. But anyway, Dana White did do an interview and said, we will repay them. We will make it right. For their loyalty, for standing by us, we will come back and we'll put on an event here or two. I don't know, but at least one. They haven't done so yet. Maybe someone can ask him at the upcoming press conference. But I have heard nothing about an event there. It's a historic spot, by the way. Like WC used to hold events there. And there used to be a place, an event called Tachi Palace Fights. They've produced some good talent. So it's not like some random spot, but I've not heard anything about it. Erwin, hello, Ariel and the crew. Thank you for the work you put in. You guys inspire me to do the same and cover the sport also for the people in Africa. Nice. Here's my question. With 2 great fighters currently having the nickname God of War, that's Davis Figueiredo, Deutsch de Guerra, and Benoit Saint-Denis, God of War, if we should decide only one gets to have it, who would it be? Thanks. Keep up the good work. I feel like it's fine because one is known as Deutsch de Guerra and the other one is known as God of War. If they were both God of War, then maybe we have an issue. But who am I to say one can have it and the other can't, right? I mean, it doesn't really bother me all that much. it's usually best when there's, one nickname, one guy with one nickname, and it's not used by anyone else, because then it gets a little bit confusing. I can't imagine I know there's been a few, like the Real Deal has been used. Or what's another one that's been used by other people? Shown Up the Master? No, that was only one. But anyway, Deutsch de Guerra, God of War. 2 different languages, all good with me. Offshore Burks. Offshore Burks, is this your alter ego? Is this your burner account?
Burks is misspelled.
Sure.
That's what you guys said.
Did I say that?
Ago. Yeah, a few weeks ago. Someone said that. They were like, oh, that sounds great.
What are we eating?
A little gum.
Oh.
Freshening up the old breath here.
All right.
Yeah. Nice catch on that.
For who, though? I mean, there's no one back there.
Trying to hold it. Myself,
All right.
What's up, Rick?
Hey, Rick.
Hey, guys.
What happened out in Amityville? You losing power? Storm? Waves crashing?
No storm.
Ghosts?
The old house is under construction. There's some things going on here.
My fire alarm went off yesterday. Fire truck showed up.
Didn't get a heads up on the
Did they
power
evacuate
going
the
out.
building?
Yeah, I actually had to evacuate. Yeah,
it's always fun.
Were you guys doing a little renovations?
Windows, siding, masonry porch, painting.
Wow.
It's a whole big thing. We're sprucing up.
New
trying to get it done before the
facial
holidays.
Uplift on the house. I mean, big things going on at the Jackman household.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get invited to a housewarming.
Whose housewarming do we get invited to first? Rick's or Frank's?
You guys have had an open invitation to the house, and the only one who's actually taken me up on it has been Frank, and Frank then no-showed it. So far, this one's on you guys, not me.
I agree.
I'm thinking it's going to be months before we get the invitation to Frank's.
But Frank's is the same spot.
Right.
Frank's is the same spot, but now it's just his spot. He owns it completely. No sharing. I don't know what he has to get ready. I mean, he's literally just moving a desk in.
It's been a week.
Just a desk.
It's been a day.
One step. Tomorrow's the next step.
It's been a day. Remember that?
I can't believe you guys are giving me crap. What I meant was I wasn't paying attention.
It's been a day. Hello, everyone. Is it just me, or has there been a significant drop in? Now I'm just worried about the siren going off.
It was very, very close. Sorry, excuse my oomph there. It was very close.
For who?
For another phone.
For fuck's sake. This is the worst.
The pitch is tilted right now.
Oh, my God. Significant drop in eye pokes since the UFC introduced those curved gloves. What other simple measures do you think the UFC could take to improve the fights? Are the gloves that different? Is that a real thing? Or is that just hearsay? I don't know. Is there anything big? I know Connor wants more colors on the uniforms. Right? That's your big thing?
I'm not going to lie. When you say Connor, I just assume you're talking about Conor McGregor.
No.
I'd love more. Give me a purple. Give me a pink. Just give us every color. Give us, when someone asks for like a specialty one.
If you could make one change and implement it to the UFC, what would it be?
Man, that's a broad spectrum. Uniforms or anything?
Anything. One thing. They say, all right, kid, what do you got?
Well, I would hopefully have, had a little bit more time to prepare for my meeting before I go in, and they lob it up like this. We got sponsorships everywhere. I mean, we might as well let the fighters get sponsored again.
Okay. I meant like a rule or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Dana White out, Helwani in.
Wow. Wow, for the gusto.
Dynamic logos on the octagon ground.
You like the what?
Frank.
What is that?
Just like the hockey ones where they just swap them out on the sideboard.
Oh,
just do it. Yeah.
Changing. How would you do that?
With the power of production magic.
Okay.
12 to 6 elbows? Is that a thing people want back?
How about refs that do their job?
I think people want the strike to a grounded opponent more than 12 to 6, but I think it's more just like get rid of all of those restrictions on those ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm cool with that. Eliezer Katz, Should there be some sort of arbitrary standard where the ref is required to stop the fight to prevent what happened to Bobby Green this weekend, like a max number of unanswered shots after a knockdown? No. I mean, it's impossible. You can't do that. That's why I say referees have the toughest gig in sports. MMA referees in particular, because it's so subjective. In boxing, you get knocked down, like you know what that is. MMA, knockdown, how many strikes, is he out, is he not out? Like all that stuff is very, very tough to call. It's a tough gig. Not only is it a tough sport to ref, it's a tough sport to judge as well. It's super tough. First of all, 5 minutes is a long ass time. There's so much going on. The 10-9 system isn't an MMA scoring model. It's in some ways it's incredible that we've made it this far with all of this stuff. 30-something years.
Gonna need you to.
Yeah, I was looking down the thing. It's a very. Can I just be 100? Can I be 1,000% on? It's a very uninspired collection of. I mean, first of all, I saw Irwin's name twice. It's the same question, and it's like one of the worst questions we've ever received.
The word processor screwed that one up.
What is this? The God of War question is now showing up twice. Should there be an arbitrary standard?
I
where
thought maybe you would change the answer if you were asked again.
I mean, let's go to the next great one. Hey, Ariel, what's up with Chael pronouncing everyone's name wrong? I don't know. Ask fucking Chael. Like, this is the question. If this is the best we got, then we need to scrap this segment. This is the best? Is it part of his gimmick, or is he just terrible at names? Thanks for getting me through the work days. This is the best we got. Wow. I don't know. Ask Chael. I think he really thinks that's how you say their names. He thinks it's Yarir. And he thinks it's, I don't know. What's the other one that he says wrong? Piera? I don't know. Let's see what the next great one is. Chris, Mr. Helwani and Co. Two-parter, if that's okay. By the way, I'm just ornery because of the 2-0. I get upset. I'm sorry. Two-parter, if that's okay. First, when you have a translator on, are you concerned that if you say something that it can be translated wrong or the cadence can be off when it's translated? I mean, what do you want me to what do you want me to say? Yes, I'm concerned, but like what? It's either that or you don't have the translator. Or you don't have those guests on, right? And more often than not, I think we have pretty good translators on. Now, sometimes they come with their own, but like Monday, Alex Davis, legend. Why not? Second, please tell me inviting the Money Mark was a troll. Who's the Money Mark? Did he mean Tony?
Yeah.
Well, so the funny thing about the Tony thing was I said that. I thought people realized that I was joking. I thought people realized that I was, I don't know about trolling, but of course he's not coming on. What are you kidding? And then I see these, as I predicted, wrestling aggregator Twitter sites posting it verbatim, and then all these people jumping in. None of them follow me and say, look at this loser. Triple H cut him off. And now he's begging for Tony to come off his show. Is there anyone worse than this guy? I hope this guy dies. Oh my God, Tony should totally not come on his show. I'm like, wow, these people are sad. This is sad. This is a sad existence. What is wrong with you people? Of course I was joking. And why do you hate me so much? Why can't we all just get along? Why can't we be buds? Why can't we be friends? I feel like I've been good to you guys. Why? Are you upset because I called you a freakazoid? Are you upset because I called you booger eaters? No, I never said that. That was Colin Coward. I never said that. I just said freakazoid. But yes, I was joking. It was a joke. I would have been happy if he came on. I'm not holding a grudge against him, even though he said, what did he say when I showed up on SmackDown? He said that, I don't know. What did he say? Anyone remember? That I was a sham or something? But yeah, it was a joke. But why Money Mark? What? That's not very nice. I guess because his dad has. I don't know. I would never say that. I think it's incredible what he built. I think it's amazing what he built. Very hard to build a competing brand. Extremely hard. So I only have the utmost respect. I mean, do we not see eye to eye on some things, or do we maybe get off on the wrong foot? Sure, but it's only love here, and I'd love to have him on, especially now that they cut me off. It'd be nice to have that relationship, Luis, Hi, Ariel. Now that PFL has acquired Bellator, there's one less option for fighters outside of the UFC. Do you know what happened with the World Fight League that was discussed on the show almost 2 years ago? Did it not get the financial backing that was needed to launch the league? No, this is a good question, Frank. This is a nice question from Luis. They kind of came, big splash, too far-fetched of an idea, pivoted, and I don't know what is going to happen. This was Darren Owen, and he had lofty goals, but it doesn't seem like it's a thing. People were very excited about it initially, but some people were blaming me for it. Like, I was just reporting what they were planning on doing, but, it doesn't seem like there's anything remotely close to what they were envisioning or planning or hoping for. They're still working on something, but it's a lot different, and it's quite the departure. So, yeah, I feel comfortable in saying that particular idea is dead. Who knows what, if anything, they come up with. Jordan, hey, Ariel, will Arman Tsarukyan ever become a household name or even a bigger draw? I think he can be. I agree with Dan when he says who would want to watch him versus Islam. I would. I don't agree with that. I think Dan doesn't like either of them, to be honest. Do you think he has star potential? I think so. He may have the skills, but I don't think he has the charisma persona to become one. I mean, no one really thought Islam was going to be a superstar. And I think he's benefited a lot from being, Khabib's guy, so to speak. But, especially you come from Russia, you come from Armenia, you're representing these nations that maybe don't have a lot of stars coming out of there. And who was it that said it? I think it was on Monday. Someone said it on Monday, like, look at how they treat stars in other countries and look at how we get treated in America. No one cares. Who was it on Monday? Oh, Sean Brady. They really get behind their own. They really do. So I think he has the skills. I think he has the backing. A couple more of those wins, and they will get behind you. Like, did Triple G have the star power, the charisma, so to speak? No, but he was incredible. He said a few lines, and people loved him. Same with Khabib. Same with Islam now. You don't need anything too crazy to get people behind you. So if he could do that to a few of the top contenders, continue to do that, I think he is well on his way. Thank you, everyone, for the great questions this week. I thought they were really, really good and really made us think, you know what I mean? Like, go one step further, you know what I mean? Just
always.
All right, so how many weeks was this with Frank as moderator before the turn happened?
Yeah, I know, right?
It's 5 weeks, 6 weeks?
I mean, are you implying that the turn happened today?
Oh, yeah, had it already started earlier. Is this the completion of the turn?
I mean,
Wow. Wow.
I think he had his doubts.
Is this an application that I'm seeing right now for moderator for On the Nose segment?
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, who's ultimately to blame? Is it the question? I have to go in there.
13 of these.
I have to go in there and do a deep dive.
Is it the one moderating or is it the one asking the questions?
There were a couple questions
moderated?
about GSP and Diaz. So, where did that come from?
Yeah.
A couple Mount Rushmores.
Oh God.
A few more UFC 300 questions.
Okay, love those. So you know what? I'm looking at some of the questions here. Yeah, maybe they. Maybe they aren't bringing it. Here's a fun one. Hello, Ariel. Lately, I enjoy asking people about topics that I've never heard them discuss. If you're up for a random different question, I am. It doesn't always have to be fight-related, Frank. I think moderator Lewis really cut his teeth with the non-fight related questions. What are your and your team's thoughts on the following? Olivia Rodrigo, The Hunger Games, Taco Bell. I could tell you my daughter likes Olivia Rodrigo. And good for you is someone to know. Never seen The Hunger Games. And I'd rather go on an 86-hour fast than ever have Taco Bell. And I haven't read it.
86 hours, shut up.
I mean, I can't open social media now and be like, just completed my 86-hour fast. Just having a little bone broth.
Yep.
Yeah.
Electrolytes.
After the 94th hour, was starting to feel a little lightheaded, but feeling really good now. Come on, everyone. Don't be
I'm down for 86.
Let's do it. Me and you.
Right.
Starting now.
Right now, yeah.
I'm looking at the page, and there's 2 other questions here that are way more interesting than anything that Frank.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just
there it
we
is.
just found the new
there it is.
moderator.
The vitriol in that statement right there.
Here's a third one. This is
By the way, I
great
love Taco Bell. Just wanted to get that in there.
It's horrible. All right. Thank you, everyone, for the questions. We appreciate you all very much. Now, time for today's main event. Very much looking forward to talking to this individual. He is the reigning defending UFC featherweight champion. He is the pride of Australia. He returns to action in February to defend his 145-pound title against Ilia Topuria. He comes from a land down under. He is the great Alex Volkanovski. Oh, there he is in the nice wheels. Alex, where are you going at 7:30 a.m. over there in Sydney?
I'm not going anywhere. Just thought I'll go in because now we've got the new Bubs. She's taken my my office. You know what I mean? So, so this is my new office.
It's a nice. What do we got there? What kind of car is this?
A Jaguar. So this is a Jaguar. This is the car that I've been driving for a while now. F-Type Jaguar.
Okay, where does the
little beast? I love it.
Where does the car seat go for the baby? Where does that go in the back there, or?
It's a little sports car. This is just zooms me to training and back, and I got the big car next to us right here. So that's the family car.
I love it. All right. Well, good to see you, Alex, and thank you for doing this. I appreciate it. So obviously, there's a lot to talk to you about. And the first thing that, the last time we saw you, and I know you did an interview earlier this week with the Who the Fook podcast guys, episode 100. Shout out to them. Good to see, local boys doing well. But I was just curious, like, how you are doing, because it was a little bit different and hard and unique to see you in that state. We had never seen you in that state before. And so it's been a month and change since. How are you doing post Abu Dhabi?
Oh man, I'm sweet. So like it's obviously it's a bit of a tricky one. The reason why I say it's tricky is obviously people see me at my most vulnerable, as I've said quite a few times, which I'm glad people got to see that. But at the same time, everyone, I'm hoping everyone knows that I'm all good. Like, you just see me literally after I just got head kick knocked out. A few things are a bit uneasy, them few months, right? And then that happening, and then being, you could say concussed, being a bit emotional, and then going straight to the press conference, and people seeing that. So again, like, if the timing was different, it probably could have been a little bit different, that press conference. But I'm glad people got to see it. The people that have reached out in a positive way, it's been incredible. So I'm glad, because everyone gets a little uneasy, a little uncomfortable, sometime in their life. You know what I mean? And like we usually deal with it. I usually deal with it really, really well. I'll go, a few things, a bit of pressure, a few things are happening, and then I'm all good. I'm usually all good. But then this fight came. And then obviously it was just about the timing and all that. So let me sort of explain what I mean. So straight after, obviously, I got knocked out, because I was a little bit, with the surgery, I wasn't in the gym much with the newborn. I wasn't able to get to the gym. And for other reason, I wasn't in the gym too much. So I wasn't able to really do too much training. I was drinking a fair bit. So I wasn't the same guy that I usually am. And when this fight come to me, it brought up, I'm like, well, this will snap me out of it a little bit and just get me back into some real good structure again. Let's do it. You know what I mean? It's meant to be. I've told myself it's meant to be. And then obviously straight after that fight, I'm like, what a stupid decision. That's just how that's where my head was at the time. Like, you made a stupid decision, because of where you were, and now look what's happened. And then I just sort of broke down. And then that's when I literally walked to the press conference straight after that. So, but now that I've had time to think about it, I stand by my decision taking the fight on short notice. Because as I've said to you many times, as I've said, and, to many people, I am that guy that will step in on short notice. I will take on them challenges. I'm probably just more disappointed with the timing of it all. Usually I'm a lot more disciplined. I'm in the gym. I'm in way better shape. I'm usually in a much better position going into something if that was to ever happen. So I'm a bit more disappointed in that situation. So, I swear by, as you know, I'm a professional. I'm always in the gym. I'm always getting better. And, if there was a time that I wasn't, and with a few things going on, which is I guess fair enough. Obviously, I had surgery, wasn't able to train too much, and then the newborn, so the late stages of the pregnancy, newborn and whatnot, and then a couple other things, wasn't getting in the gym. So, and then I thought, drinking, I've got plenty of time till my fight. So it was just sort of all those sort of scenarios, and then. So I wasn't in the gym as much as I wasn't as professional as I usually would be because, and I'm not saying the result would be different, but I'm still disappointed in where I was at. You know what I mean? So I'm not sitting there taking anything away from Islam, if that's what it sounds like. It's just this is why I was emotional, and this is why I'm like, that's not me.
In the initial aftermath, did you regret the decision?
No, I don't. I don't regret this decision. Like I said, I regret, I guess, the timing of it, or where I was at, physically and mentally, you could say. Well, just where I was, not in full control of everything, as well as I usually would be in the gym, ticking all the right boxes and whatnot. I just wasn't doing that. So then, especially not knowing that I wasn't fighting till January. I know that doesn't seem too long for some people, but for me, everyone always wants to bring up the age and whatnot. So that is something that's always going to be there. It's like, hey, I know I'm in my prime. I know I got a good couple years in me. I believe. So I know, but I know the time's ticking. So I've got to get to work. So you got them pressures of like, all right, how long is this going to last? You know what I mean? And so when I'm not in the gym, getting better or training for camp, I feel like, oh shit, my time's ticking. So you get them little pressures. Again, once I know I'm done and, the career's done or whatever, all right, I can pursue other things, business and all that, put energy in just family and business. So that's how I can tick my boxes. But right now, I'm going to make the most money I can, especially right now, while I'm fighting, while I'm in my prime. So let's get to work. So that's why you hear me say, let's keep me busy. It's not just keep me busy because my head's going crazy the whole time. It's just, I know that, all right, there might not be as much time as most people. I still feel great, but how long is that going to last?
Sure.
You know what I mean? So but now, so again, I just wasn't happy with the guy I was going into that fight. But that guy that I always am happy with, he's back.
Okay.
He's in the gym. He's kicking ass. He's passionate. He's not only enjoying training, he's loving it. He's more passionate than ever. He's more driven than ever. You know what I mean? More happier than ever. Everything. It's just everything is all going. You know what I mean? I've got a date ahead. I'm already in camp. I usually don't start this early, but I just want to have a nice long camp. Obviously, with the concussion, I'm lucky enough to have a great team behind me and, Mick Baines and Chris Jaffrey at Health Hub. And even my doctors, they've dealt with thousands of concussions through football, rugby league and whatnot. So I was lucky enough to do that, play it as safe as possible, follow all the protocols back into training and, obviously no symptoms, everything's all good and we're back to full steam, baby. So I'm very, very happy with where we're at. But again, just to sort of finish on that note with, again, I am sort of glad people got to see me in that vulnerable state because everyone gets uneasy sometime in their life. You know what I mean? And the amount of fighters that have reached out, the amount of successful people in other, not only disciplines, other careers, the amount of people that reached out, it's incredible. Everyone gets uneasy, but it's just how you bounce back from it. The beauty is people got to see me like that. Again, usually as a camera not in your face at your most vulnerable. There was for me. But all good. I'm glad people see me like that. I'm not ashamed of that at all. You know what I mean? So I'm all good with it. But I just want everyone to know I'm all good.
Yeah.
But now everyone gets to see the bounce back. So the beauty of it is people get to see vulnerable. People can think what they want, whether they see it as weakness or where a lot of people are like, oh, wow, they can relate. Now that you feel like you can relate, when you're down, you've seen me at my lowest point. Watch me at my highest point next February. Watch me go out and do what I'm going to do. People get to see that process. From that point, me obviously being in not the best headspace, getting my head kicked off, knocked out, So that's a pretty low point in my career. Let's be honest. And now you're gonna get to see me bounce back. So people get to see this. And again, I'm sort of in the same spot where a lot of people are like, oh shit, is this going to be the downfall? Blah blah blah. Trust me, I'm the same guy I was that you've seen last year and whatnot, or earlier this year. I'm that same guy. But a lot of people, recency bias, which is a beautiful thing about this sport. People do quickly forget, which keeps it exciting. So I'm glad for that. But now everyone gets to see the bounce back. So I'm looking forward to it.
By the way, just curious, why did you go to the press conference? Because usually when someone gets knocked out, they don't go.
Look, man, I'm going to be there when I win. I'm going to be there when I lose. I was emotional, and I'm okay with that. Like, I'm not. I don't care if people see me a little bit emotional. People can understand how serious this is to me. A lot of people were going to, obviously at Islam, you had a lot of people saying, I'm just doing this for the paycheck. Did that, look like someone that was just doing it for a paycheck? You know what I mean? Like, look, maybe I look, for me, family's everything to me. This is a career path I chose. I've said this to you many times. So being successful is the main thing. But maybe legacy did mean more to me, and maybe that's why it stung a little bit more. Even though, financially you're going to be in a better position. But, maybe, again, where my head was at, and just I wasn't as disciplined as I was. There was a couple of other things that made me a little bit unhappy of that situation. But then maybe the legacy thing is definitely means more to me, which I knew that. That's why when I was hearing people say this is a win-win for Alex, there's no lose situation, you would see me sort of get annoyed.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, there's this rematch I have to do against one of the best fighters in the world moving up on 11 days notice, a rematch where controversial, and now I need to do it in these circumstances. I never get this chance again. So when people were telling me that, I'm like, fuck the paycheck and fuck all that shit. I go, now we're talking legacy fight. We're talking I have to take this fight just in case this rematch is never promised to me. At least now it's guaranteed. Would I rather be in a better position? 100%. But that's just how I work. That's what's got me to where I am today. And I stand by all my decisions, and that's that.
If you go the rest of your career, you don't lose a single fight, I'm wondering if you're the kind of person in 20, 30 years, you'll look back on this one and this will eat you up. That you, because you say the timing is what annoys you most, that you didn't have enough time. Do you think that you'll lament the fact you didn't have more time?
Timing, I don't think it's a timing. Like I said, obviously you heard me fight week, and a lot of people are like, oh, you were saying all this. Look, I'm going to tell myself these things. I believed it. I literally thought I was going to go in there. I didn't care if I didn't have many sparring sessions. I don't care if I didn't have too many or training and whatnot. I believed I can do it, and I really put that in my head. It's just, maybe I'm a little, delusional, right, in that sense. But it's not delusional because usually I put in the work. And I always, you know what I mean? So I can think that way and know that I am in the best possible shape and best preparation that I can be, because that's just how it is. These circumstances, obviously I wasn't training and whatnot. I still believe that this is going to make me more dangerous. I literally told myself that, and I believed it. And that's why I stand by my decision. It's just, I just couldn't pull the trigger, to be quite honest. I don't know what it was, but I was just sitting there, come on, you got to go. Like, as I say, since when do you see me? I don't even, I've watched back. No, I don't even think I threw a punch. Since when have you ever seen me not, I usually put it, I don't want to give too much away, but I usually got a lot of volume. I don't care if they land or not. I usually have a lot of things happening, to suppress their volume, to not let them set things up. There's big reasoning to why I'm usually that fighter that you see in there. But I just couldn't do it. So even when he grabbed me, I felt strong. So I felt strong in there. And then I'm like, you got to break. I'm not going to win a wrestling match against him, especially without the training. If this goes 5 rounds in a wrestling match, this probably doesn't end well for me. So my best chance is on the feet and knocking him out. You just got to let your hands go. I remember talking to myself that's exactly what I was saying to myself while we're clinching, and I was trying to break off, and I'm like, you got to go once you go, because I knew I didn't pull the trigger early on in that fight. I'm like, you can't do that shit. Get in his face, find the shots, let the hands go. and I just couldn't. But look, I'm not taking nothing away from him. Maybe it was things he was doing too, right? You know what I mean? But yeah, I just didn't do things that I just believe I could have done things a lot better.
By the way,
even when he was kicking to the leg, kicking to the body. Obviously, I seen them. I knew going in because of the range we're going to fight at that that was going to be there. I knew that them kicks were going to be there, and I knew that he would eventually go high. I was even saying to myself, "He's going to go high. He's going to go high. Be ready for it, but let's pull the trigger." I'm like trying to talk to myself to get things going, and I just couldn't. So but again, credit to Islam. I know this sounds like I'm making excuses. I'm not.
No.
Because I even knew that kick while I was ready for that kick. I even sort of went to protect it, and he still got me. So, you can't take nothing away from me. He found an opening. He seen that my hands wasn't covering that top of the dome, and he found it. You know what I mean? So credit to him. But again, I was like, I was just like, come on, you got to go. So pretty frustrating. So that's how I look back at it. I'll be like, if I was in the gym a little bit more, I probably would have seen the shots a bit better. I would have, I just think it could have been much different. But yeah, obviously, I've always been a man of preparation. I always talk about preparation is key, and I thought I could do it without it, but you can't against the best in the world. So again, credit to Islam.
Losing a close...
I took on a challenge, fell short. What do you do?
Losing a close one in February is much different than what happened in October. So I'm just wondering, in the aftermath, like flying home and the days after, how did you deal with getting stopped for the first time in your UFC career? Like it was shocking to see you like that, because we had never seen you get even like rocked, let alone knocked down and knocked out. So how are you processing that?
Yeah. I mean, obviously it was it's rough just purely because I mean, I've always been the type of guy that cares too much about what people think as well. Which I'm getting much better with that, but that shit needs to stop. But so obviously, even though it's a good thing, so it fires me up. I care too much about what they say, but I usually use that as fuel. When people start being negative and doubting me and all that, as you can see, it usually is what motivates me to get in the gym, and I do my best work when it's like that. So it's sort of a good thing. But so it was hurting. But even though, because I've never been concussed before, never. That's the first time I've ever been concussed.
Wow.
I played rugby league. The amount of concussions that these players have in rugby league, and obviously fighting. Obviously, I've been like rocked before and things like that, but I've never had the symptoms of a concussion afterwards. So that gets you that messes with your head a little bit as well. I know which I didn't know about till we're going through that. But again, my my physios, my team behind me are aware of it. So like they're even obviously telling my wife and letting me know, look, things that, like telling her, like, look, he might get a bit irritated a lot easier, might be emotional. He might make rash decisions, like, start, wanting to change things because, he's getting too anxious and whatnot.
Did that happen?
So that's a big, yeah. So like, probably, I think people would probably be much worse, but, I was definitely probably get irritated a lot easier. I'm not a violent person, so it's not like that. But I mean, I'll get irritated easier. You even get a little anxious. See, I'm probably giving a bit too much information, but I think it's a good thing because maybe people that have been concussed, if they see these things, they can deal with it a bit better. They're going to get a little anxious. They're going to, overthink everything, you know what I mean? And, and just make things a bigger deal than they are. Just little things like that. But I mean, that was like, it was just that sort of week. And I was like, man, like, what's going on? I need to change this. I need to do this. And, you know what I mean? Here I am trying to change all these things. And then the week after I was like, oh shit. Like I started calming down a bit. The week after better and better. And then obviously a couple of weeks after that, or a few weeks after that, back to me, again, I like to say I'm a pretty resilient dude. Usually the rock. I like to be the rock of the house, and I like to deal with, give me I'll make sure I can deal with any problems we have, bring it on. But the first couple of weeks, I was like, I can't be the rock right now. You know what I mean? It was weird, but but yeah, I'm back to the guy that's ready to take on anything, take on any challenges. If anyone's in the house is uncomfortable, I'm ready to step up and be that rock. But I'll be honest, there was a little bit of a time there where that was a bit more harder.
By the way, did you see that clip?
Man, I'm giving you some details here, man.
I appreciate it.
For you.
I appreciate it. That's why we love talking to you. What about Cristiano Ronaldo going up to Izzy in Saudi Arabia asking how you are? Did you see that? That's wild stuff.
It is wild. Like I said, you'll be surprised at people. Like, so he actually. So he was saying that I messaged Volk. So like we've been chatting.
Wow.
So but yeah, like oh mate, yeah, incredible. So I mean, like
what do you rate you? Do you mind saying? Do you mind sharing what he wrote?
What's that?
Do you mind sharing what he wrote to you? Like,
just obviously, just obviously head up and things like that, and then the conversation obviously rolled on because he really wanted me in Saudi Arabia, as you can see. That's what he's saying to Izzy as well. He wanted to get a massive card over there, and I'm like, look, if anyone can do it, I'm sure you can influence that decision quite a bit, mate. So I obviously wanted to go over there, but it's just I guess it's just not working out.
Wow.
I don't know what's happening with that. Like, I obviously was scheduled for January, but we talked to the UFC and told them, look, my team, even though I could have done it, just would have been rushed.
Yeah.
Again, we wanted to do things the best possible way. Again, where I've got a very professional team around me. I'm professional. Even though I could have maybe snuck it in the January, it was something that we didn't want to mess with. That extra month. Definitely gives us plenty of time. So I'm already back to full training. I've already started camp. Like, I'm already doing meat grinders and whatnot and feeling good. So I've got plenty of time. So yeah, I'm excited.
Can I ask you about the video that Ilia dropped when the fight was announced with the rose and everything? What did you make of that?
I mean, it was a pretty impressive sort of production, to be honest. So I was like, they got he's got like a proper producers around and all that. Like, I thought it was pretty. Look, I didn't get it as much. I think I don't know his full story, so I don't get it. So I don't want to knock him too much. I know he does give roses. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like whether it's an audition for The Bachelor. I don't know exactly what it is, but it was very well done. I don't know. I don't get it. I know he gives a rose, so I
think it's a Matador
that
thing.
means he's giving me the rose as well. Maybe there's a bigger meaning. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, then the Matadors.
Because he's a Matador.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And what do they do? Stuff with roses?
Yes.
They do stuff with roses, do they?
Yeah.
Okay, well, there you go. So there's probably a bigger story behind it. I missed that at first. It just looked pretty romantic, to be quite honest. But yeah. So I mean, it was well done, though.
What do you make of Ilia? Do you are you a fan of his style? Do you feel like he is being rushed in this spot? Has he earned his stripes?
I think maybe rushed. That doesn't mean he's not. That doesn't mean he's. I'm not saying he's that good, but I mean, like he could be as good as he's saying. He could be as good as what everyone's saying, but he hasn't been able to prove that yet. So that's what I say when he's carrying on like, how good am I? It's like, going, look, you could be that good. Maybe February you show me that, but till then, till you're first someone at this level. No offense to him, but he hasn't. And until you show the world and myself something different to what you've done, like, don't get me wrong. Again, I still think he's a great fighter. But I mean, it's just the same with Ilia turning up to all his fights. I haven't seen that elite stuff yet. You know what I mean? He might be able to show that February. So I'm not trying to knock him. When I sit there and it's just you'd think the way he's carrying on that, mate, he's knocking out everybody. No one wants to fight him. Like literally the way I got to the title, or you know what I mean? Like you'd think he's. Just doing what all these other guys, which he hasn't, you know what I mean? And again, that doesn't mean he doesn't deserve it. He is clear the next guy, but he needs to do something February to sort of show elite level. He needs to show us something because right now I haven't seen it. And again, it doesn't mean he's not elite. You know, he might be in the gym. He looks like he's a durable, tough, well, how could I say, fundamentally very well in all aspects of the game. Durable. You know, he probably gets a lot of guys in there. He's probably always going to be a hard round for these guys. You know what I mean? So he's going to be tough, even if he wants to train with guys a little bit bigger, like I do myself. But then there's going to be levels where you need more than just need to be fundamentally sound. Like if he thinks he's going to be able to out-wrestle me, with what I've seen, like, you know what I mean? Like he needs to show more than what he's done with the wrestling, a lot more. If that's going to be a threat submission-wise, a lot more. Because if he's going to go out there and be able to dominate me like that, that's in a sense where take me down and submit me. It's never been done before. So he's showing something that like no one's been able to do. So, and if he's that good and he goes, all right, he can show us that. But I haven't seen him do anything more special than any other of the guys that I've faced. Doesn't mean he's not that good, but he needs to show me that. And then with the striking, again, durable, powerful dude, very fundamentally sound, well-trained. But again, just it's so much more than that. It's so much more than that. That's all. I'll leave it at that.
I'm wondering if you think the UFC wants him to win, and the reason I asked this question is because, as you know, some people have to take the long, hard road to even get to a title shot. Scratch and claw. Look at the likes of Arnold Allen. Couldn't even get the title shot, right? He had to fight a Max Holloway, and then or you know, a guy like Leon Edwards, you know, or a Tony Ferguson. And as you say, there's no like signature number one contender win there. And so, do you feel like that's part of the reason why he's getting this?
Oh, I mean, there's a few things. Obviously, he's the clear guy. You know, I even, you know, everyone's, you know, he might act like, oh, yeah, I'm like, man. Put it this way, if I didn't probably do that face-off with him, and me mentioning his name, he probably wouldn't have got it as easy as he did. But as I've made it clear time and time again, I want a number one contender. So I'm the one pointing out these guys. You know, I'm like, oh, yeah, let's do it next, bang. You know, I'm like pretty much calling for my next fight straight away. And I did the same after Yair. And obviously calling out Ilia. So he was always going to be clear. But the thing is, you know, yourself, the UFC, they're clever dudes. They're obviously, you know what I mean? There's so many steps ahead. Like, you know, they obviously cover, if this happens, then we do this, this, this. If this happens, we do this, 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 this. So do they have plans for him? Of course, they have to. They have to see what's next. But I mean, I'm sure they've got plans for my case. I go out there and dominate, which I plan on doing. There's obviously going to be plans moving forward for them. You know what I mean? I guess we've got to see who would be next. That's a good question. But you get what I mean? They obviously levels and steps ahead, and that's just how it works. So I'm sure they got plans. I think he mentioned about Spain. I reckon that is something, a possibility. I'm sure they want to go over there. Yeah, I'm sure it's a big market. He's got a big following over there. So at least he gets a title fight and gets to build a bit of hype there. He ain't getting the belt, so I'm going to ruin all them plans. But at least he gets to boost a bit of hype over there for the next few months. But I promise you it ends there.
I know this may be a hard question to answer, but I'll ask it anyway. Sometimes when someone is coming off their first, you know, stoppage loss, they turn into a different fighter. GSP talked openly about this, how the loss to Matt Serra changed him for a very long time. Is there any concern in your mind that you are now a different fighter as a result of what happened in October?
No, I've never been careless anyway. You know what I mean? I'm not a careless fighter. We're always strategizing, and obviously the goal has always been hit them and not get hit. You know, I might, I wouldn't say I don't take risks. Obviously, you're going to put yourself, I might throw a lot more offense and you might get hit sometimes, but there's always strategy behind it. So I'm like, for me, I don't go in and be careless. You know, I think that is the case for a lot of fighters that go in and, you know, and just sort of K1 style it, or however you want to say, like sit in front of each other and just throw bombs. All of a sudden, they don't want to do that anymore. I can see that. For people, but for me, I've always been strategy. Strategy's always been a big game planning. It's always been massive for me. So I'm just going to stick to my game plans like I always do. You know what I mean? So put it this way, I'm going to pull the trigger a lot more than I did in my last fight. Let me tell you that, because I didn't pull the trigger once. So, so I'm not worried about that at all. Like, put it this way, man, it's weird in a sense that I'm in the gym and it's like the fight didn't happen. The last one. It's weird. It's like when I'm in the gym, like teaching or breaking down positions or whatnot, it's exactly how it was, like earlier on in the year. You know what I mean? Exactly how it was. Where it's not like, when I'm talking about positions, I've still got the confidence is still there when I'm explaining positions. This is what I do and I always do this. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm doubting myself I don't doubt myself at all. I don't know. I'm thinking this is what you mean when you say a lot of people change because they start getting worried about. That's not the guy turning up in the gym. That's all I can say. Like, I'm going there and I'm sparring, and you know what I mean. And I feel exactly the same. You know what I mean?
At least for now.
To be honest, keep going.
Oh, I was just gonna ask: is the 155 dream now out of your mind?
Look, man, I've got to be a realist. You're going to get a lot of people in my position that might be, it was 11-day notice, I want a rematch again. And I knew going into that fight, if things didn't go my way, it's very unlikely I get a trilogy. You know what I mean? So I knew that. And I don't see him losing in the lightweight division anytime soon. So it is hard for me to think that, look, I'll be there ready because I'm going to be, again, like I said, I'm going to be that guy that I said I was. You know what I mean? I'm going to be training. If there's injuries and someone needs a late replacement, people are going to think I'm mad, but I'm going to do it again, especially for the lightweight, because I feel like that's going to be the only time I can do it. Unless he does move. I know he wants to move up, and if he vacates his belt, because I know he does a big cut. And then there's obviously that lightweight division. There could be something there. Obviously, I would love that third fight. I would. But, I mean, I'm just a realist. I don't see that happening anytime soon, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to be delusional to think that's the case. And I literally was thinking that before the fight even happened, that if things don't go my way, that's what I mean when people are saying it's a win-win, a no-lose situation. What are you talking about? I don't get this rematch that I want so badly. I want this rematch. I want this win more than I want the lightweight title. And now I'm doing it on 11 days' notice. And what do you mean this is a no-lose for me? It's crazy talk. So, but yeah, I knew that there was a lot to lose at. So I do believe that I will still try and chase that lightweight title. But I just got to be real with it. I'll do what I do in featherweight. I've got Ilia to worry about. I'll do my work, and we'll see. We'll see what happens after that.
And could I just ask before I let you go? I feel like we are approaching a period here in 2024 where it's going to be Max again, where he keeps winning and knocking off these guys. Is there any scenario where he's now like ramping up I want that fourth one. I want that fourth one. I don't know how you sell it, but there's going to come a point where
is he? I don't know. I haven't seen that.
Yes. And there's Aljamain going after him. So maybe he's a new face. He wants that fight. But would you ever consider a fourth one against him again?
I mean, I don't know. I just don't know how that makes any sense. To be honest, you telling me that he's been talking about it, it's obviously not getting much traction because I didn't even know about that.
Fair enough.
So I mean, like, I'm sure if it was in my face the whole time, I'll be like, oh shit, maybe people do want it. But I mean, like, I'm not seeing that. And man, I've got so much respect for Max. It just, you know what I mean? It just does not make sense. I don't know how you sell it. I don't even know. I know he's 0-3 against it. I still think he would struggle to get motivated for it. You know what I mean? Like, even though he wants to get that win back, because it's seeing the same face so many times. Obviously, he's going to be in a much better position for motivation to try and get that fourth one. But yeah, it just does not make sense to me.
Do you think Aljamain can have success at 45?
Oh, man, look, he's a good fighter. I can see what he's doing. Like, he knows he's like, all right, if I want a title fight anytime soon. Look, he takes out Max.
There you go.
You know what I mean? he's next. It's that simple. And he knows that. And good on him. He's game. You know what I mean? He's game. He knows that the clear path to that tight weight, I'm not getting it now. I lost my title. There's no way I'm going for champ right now. But if I fight, I can be one fight away from a title if I take out Max. I'm sure he knows it's a tough fight, but he just looks at it. That's how I get to the title.
Right.
And good on him. You got to respect that.
Well, we respect you very much.
I think it's good. I think if he really, no worries.
No. Yeah, no. There's a bit of a delay, so I don't want to. Sorry for interrupting. That's why I'm. It's like we're doing those interviews from Afghanistan sometimes on CNN where there's like that delay and they step over each other's toes. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's just, like I said, I'm in the garage, so my Wi-Fi is probably not as good. But I was just saying, he's doing the right stuff. Good on him, and I think that'll be an exciting fight if that happens. But we'll see what happens. But moving forward, I've just got Ilia to worry about because there's nothing clear after that. Obviously, this is clear. Number one guy. It's exciting, young, talented, undefeated. You know what I mean? The storyline's perfect right now. You know what I mean? You were saying earlier on how I would look back at that loss. But then I'm like, I don't know why I just had the balloons going up in the air, but I don't know if you've seen that. Actually, you know what? I'm going to show you something. Hey, let me show you something. Watch this. Oh, wait. Oh, there you go.
Ah, there it is. Yes. There.
You seen that before?
Yeah, I saw that with my
I
daughter.
accidentally did that one time, and just the fireworks blew up. So it just reminded me. But I mean, look, the storyline. You know what I mean? It's perfect. You know what I mean? I lose. Everyone see me in that vulnerable sort of position. Obviously, a lot of people are, is this the downhill, spiral? Now we spun an undefeated prospect. It's a cool story. I'm excited. I'm sure everyone's pumped up for it. I can't wait to show you that I'm still that guy, and looking forward to it. But, make sure you tune in to everything. I think we're going to be doing a press conference and all that soon. I don't know if I just sort of announced that, but anyway. So we're going to be doing a bit of hype around it leading into it. I'm sure he's going to talk his smack. It's going to be exciting. And if you love me, you're going to get to see me do work and shut this fella up. If you don't like me, you're going to be disappointed that I showed this little fella up. But I love you anyway. Cheers.
I can't wait for it. Thanks, as always, for the time, Alex. Glad to hear you're okay. Looking forward to it very much. All the best to you, and really appreciate you coming on. This time in the car, it's a nice setting, but I feel like you're getting cramped up. I don't want to cramp up your back. Your coach is going to get mad at me, and it's probably hot too, right?
Mate, I'm sweating. I don't know if you can see I'm sweating. It is that hot in here. All
right, I'm sorry.
But we're all good.
Thanks. I appreciate it always. Thank you, Alex. All the best.
All right. I'll see you later.
All right, take care. There he is, the great Alex Volkanovski. That happened to me. I saw I think it's a new thing on the iPhone where you could do this and the hearts come out. He did the thumbs up. It happened with someone on Monday. I feel like this is going to be a thing now on the show where
Mike Perry had like the bubble show up.
Mike Perry had the bubble. Yeah. He had a thumbs up and I wasn't sure if he could see it. And then the balloons. I don't know why the balloons came up, to be honest. And then the fireworks. That's a new iPhone thing. Kids love it. Kids absolutely love it. What was the quote? I saw a quote recently. It was, oh, come on. Give it to me. Is it? Are we back? Oh, what? Are you serious? What? Get out of here. What are you talking? No. 4-0? How could that be? There was 2 goals in the span of 10 seconds?
No, you missed one during the Volk interview, and then they just got
right now?
Yeah, 4-0 Fulham. They're actually knocking on the door to make it 5.
This actually could be the end.
Yeah, it might be time to sack Coop.
No. Come on. It's a Fulham sad sack franchise going nowhere. They were just in the championship like 2 seasons ago. Come on.
4-0.
We're missing a 1-E. I'm telling you, man. Everyone was celebrating. Oh, Brendan Johnson. Look at Tottenham. Look at them. Yeah, sure, we got Sangare. We got Murillo. We got these guys. They're great. But they're not Brennan. Miss them. Anyway, that was great. How could you not like Volk? What a guy. sitting in the car there, sweating his balls off. How can you not like him, huh? What a guy. I'm so sad. Even Jake chiming in the chat now. Come on. I know it'll make me feel better. Sports suck these days. Bills suck. Knicks suck. Force sucks. Georgia sucks. Can I say that? Am I allowed? I mean,
we don't suck, but it was a disappointing result. Disappointing result.
It's all sucky. It's all sucky. You know it's not sucky? Cash App. Cash App wants you to know it's not a perk if you pay for it. That's why Cash App cards offer you the best of both worlds, offers and discounts without the hidden fees. With incredible perks, like discounts on Vivid Seats and Booking.com or card customization so you can match your card to your hat. Cash App cards offer premium rewards without the premium cost. That's money. That's Cash App. Download Cash App from the App Store or Google Play and start collecting those perks today. I was thinking about this. I was distracted. Didn't like my performance and on the nose. I'm going to pick 3 random questions here, and I'm going to guarantee that they're not. And this isn't a knock on you, Frank. I don't want you to get all sad.
Oh, yeah, I'm taking it very personally.
Text your wife, get all sad, get mad. Oh, Ariel was mean to me today. But I feel like I owe the people something a little bit better.
Do it.
Kai, greetings, Ariel and crew. With the Darts World Championship right around the corner, any last-minute plans for a trip to Ali Pali this year? And can we get an official prediction on who's winning the title? Will there be any sprinkles from GC on the darts this year? Love the show as always. It's a great question. GC, are you going to get in on the darts this year?
Yeah, absolutely. Are you kidding me? It's going to be quite a thing when I'm at home with all my family watching darts, betting on darts.
It's a tough one to go to because it's during the holiday season, right?
Yeah, very tough.
That's the thing. When I was working for Real Sports, which just came to a close, I went to the wrap party last week, which was an incredible time. But last year, after the World Championship, I pitched them the idea of going there, and there was some talk of doing it, but, you know, it's no longer a thing. But we're going to get into it. I know somebody like Pete, who got me into it, Pete Carroll, the great Pete Carroll. Check out the crack. He only really watches the World Championships. That's when most darts, you know, watchers get into it. So we'll get into it during the World Championships, Ali Pali. And as far as an official prediction, I mean, we got to go with Bully Boy. That's our guy. Right?
Luke Humphrey's currently the favorite.
Really?
Yeah.
What are the odds?
Plus 300, MVG plus 380. Gerwin Price plus 500, Michael Smith Bully Boy plus 1,000.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
Might have to get something in there before next Friday, before it kicks off.
Already next Friday. Wow.
Amazing. And it's going to go all the way to January 3rd.
Wow. Next Friday. What are you going to watch, Frank? That or Jake Paul versus Andre August?
There's only one thing to watch.
I'll be there in Orlando.
Really?
Yeah.
You're joking?
No, I'm not.
That's awesome.
How do you feel about KSI versus iShow Speed? Did you see that? They're doing a
cross promotion.
So, I mean,
or I guess counter programming.
Counter programming. Yeah. Well, it could be cross versus Speed and KSI, but yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Doing a little spar.
Yeah.
4 a.m. in the UK.
But it's to go up against the Jake fight.
Right. Yeah. Of course. That's what I'm saying. Though they have to do it at 4 a.m.
Oh, right. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like the. When they do those fight nights in Australia or Abu Dhabi to cater to the American primetime slot, they go through that too. How about this one? Slava. Hey, Ariel and crew. A few breaking the fourth wall production miscellaneous questions. I love these. Number 1, GC, during Parlay Boys, why is the randomizer no longer shown on screen? Frank's sound effect was way cooler when I could see the names randomizing.
Yeah, I mean, we're still working out some kinks with the randomizer. So
still?
Hopefully back soon.
It's been like a year.
I mean, it's a giant machine that we have to work back here.
It was done in metric.
This isn't simple.
Yeah.
It'll be back soon. 2024, the return of the randomizer.
When there's a darts competition in studio, the randomizer will be working.
Yeah. You want the randomizer back? You throw some darts with a guest.
Number 2, Ariel. I get why you went from 21 to 11 for on-the-nose questions. Unless I missed it, I feel like it just randomly changed one day. Not saying we're owed an official announcement, but I feel like it was done so abruptly. Fair. Do you remember at the beginning I was doing like 80 questions? Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
In the early days, it was up to 80, that number. No, just trying to keep it tighter. I felt like less is more, but clearly there's There's a lot being left on the cutting room floor here, so maybe I have to go back to 21. Frank, what's the sound effects setup like? Is it like a keyboard shortcut, Control plus T for Tommy Aspinall? How are you so quick about it when you don't know what Ariel is going to say? As always, thank you for the amazing weekly content, Slava.
Wouldn't you like to know?
That's it? That's all you're going to give him?
Yeah.
Wow. G, hi, Ariel. I feel like you're now sandbagging the questions. I thought that was a great question. 3 quick UK questions for you. Why do you think they aren't exploring Aspinall versus Stipe for 300? Maybe they are. See, even he didn't even know I was going to read that, and he was... if McGregor comes back and beats Chandler at 170, does he go straight into a fight with the winner of Leon Colby? Very possible. Or a 155 title fight. He's not going to have to win that many. Put it that way. Finally, who wins first fight in the UFC if it's Dylan versus Paul Craig? Now, that would be 85 versus a 70-pounder. I'll go with Paul Craig. Am I crazy, GC?
No. But I feel like that's a nice matchup for him because it would be a lot of grappling.
Iman. Hey, Ariel and crew. I would love to see a behind-the-scenes video detailing how you and the guys put the show together, from confirming the guests to arriving on show day to rehearsals to the show being live and the behind-the-scenes stuff. It would be great for the fans to get an insight on how the show that's in our lives so much is put together. Please consider it. You guys want to do that?
Yeah, why not?
I think it would be cool. No? I mean, I'm not going to shoot it, but if someone wants to do it.
Of course, yeah.
How you want me to shoot myself?
Hey, nobody asked you to
Hi.
shoot yourself.
Here's a selfie video of me booking Alex Volkanovski. I had to beg him for 2 weeks to come on, and it all worked out.
Sounds good to me, man.
Chris, okay, so we were going to do it.
We sounds inclusive.
Wait, you want me to book the show, host the show, and shoot the behind-the-scenes video? Seems a little bit... no way. I don't buy this. If this is 5-0, I'm leaving. If this is 5-0, I am leaving. End the show. Shut it off. Please, God, no. No. Oh! Stop. No, this can't be. Is this possible? No. What? This is it. It's over. Steve Cooper's fired. This is done.
He's got
What? This can't be. You're shitting.
Job on the line, and this is what we
This is what they put up? Oh, this has to be it.
Yeah.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. This is a disgrace.
Yeah, yes, yeah.
Is this self-sabotage? Are they actually trying to lose? This is it. I was talking to someone yesterday, my good friend Rob Armstrong, formerly of TNT, and he's like, don't worry, you're not going to get relegated. Well, you have to do that part over there. They're not going to get relegated. What?
I'm starting to get a touch worried.
Luton Town is better than them.
Yeah, I'm starting to get a touch worried they might get relegated.
Oh, this is horrendous. This is one of the darkest days.
I mean, now we're talking about them potentially, crossing like 2 ships in the night with my boys over in Wrexham.
Can someone ask Arnold Allen if we could be it's that video of the girl who's like doing the dancing, but she's crying at the same time?
Yeah, that's you with the Stevie Cooper chant. Yeah, tough one. Tough one. You're going to have to... hopefully you're not watching Championship next year.
No. What's unfair about this, it's like a hodgepodge of players. And part of me feels like they've lost their magic from last year, Not enough guys from the team that got him to the Premier League. But look, getting rid of Brennan was a mistake. I'm sorry. That was a huge mistake. Is there any room on the Spurs? No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. I can't believe this 5-0 with God's face. It's one of the darkest days.
We had to show it 5 times.
Yeah.
I mean, Everton, your former franchise, your former club is. I mean, they're only 6 points behind, and they got 10 points lopped off.
Because, oh, wow.
Frank, Chris wants to know about your roles behind camera. How long does it take to get the sounds at a click of a finger? Ariel loves the sound clips that you use. Do you download before the show? Do you have all these sounds at a drop of a hat? How many backstage crews is there? GC, when you make the intros, how long does it take? Do you have to run it by other members of the team before you make the cut?
I'll let Frank go first on that one.
I think I'm just gonna keep that one close to the chest.
Wow, man. I mean, you're just not giving anything, dude.
Fucking hell.
I mean, even back to the conversation about the weekend. You're not
Yes.
saying
It's like
anything.
I don't know if you know this, but we are doing a show right now. You know, like this is a show that we do. We talk about things. People tune in.
For me, it takes, depending on the intro, sometimes it takes quite a long time, a few hours. Do I get permission or approval from the rest of the team? No, usually we just load it on up. They trust my, they give me the creative freedom I need. I'll say that. When was the last time Fulham scored 5?
Oh, God. I mean, there's so many good questions here. It's unbelievable. It's like,
Why don't we
Go
just
back
read
in
them
May
all?
against Leicester City. Is Fulham scoring 5 on you the relegation kiss of death? Leicester City. Leicester City got 5 scored on them, and unfortunately are now relegated.
Andy, cue for the Gargonzola rock and roll. I believe that's you, GC. After 2023 saw you take an L at the hands of crumbly cheese. What does redemption look like in the new year?
I mean,
This is good.
that's an amazing question.
Yes.
I
How
love
did that not make the cut?
That anytime I go to a nice restaurant now, people are like, "Did you get the gorgonzola encrusted steak?" I'm just like, "Nope, no, I did not." Was that even a question? Was there a question? What's redemption look like in 2024? I don't know. Avoiding old cheeses, knocking on wood, and not getting food poisoning. That's what I'm hoping for.
Last one, Carlos. Hi, Ariel and crew. What fight, confirmed or not, are you guys most looking forward to in 2024? Wow. That's a toughie. I mean, the return of Conor is a really big deal, obviously. Aspinall versus Jones.
I'm pretty stoked for Topuria.
Topuria.
Pretty excited about that one. Ben Eubank. Biggest excitement of
Cheeto Sugar.
I mean, look at the way Rick perked up on the Zoom. I mean, he's zoned out, and then he hears Ben Eubank, and it's like a dog hearing a squeaky toy.
Cheeto Sugar.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
What's one?
These are all great. These are all great, but they're not.
Other than Ben Eubank, what's one fight that isn't announced that is most enticing?
Hamza versus anybody.
Can't be that. Has to be
Conor.
a fight.
I mean, yeah, Conor returning, like.
Oh, you mean that
would
like
be
is
pretty
talked
incredible.
about and doesn't have a date specifically?
Not announced.
Well,
Or
yeah, why
reported.
can't it be like Hamza versus the winner?
Nah, I need a thing. I need
An official matchup?
Yeah, I need a matchup. It can't just be like
Hamza versus Strick. Well, I
Hamzat
think
farting.
DDP is going to win. So Hamza versus DDP.
All right. Yeah, I'm trying to look here. There's
How about John Jones versus Tom Aspinall? That'd be pretty sick.
That's the one that I'm thinking of. Yeah, but it's like
Right, if they booked that would be.
feels like a lot of things have to happen.
Pins and needles.
I'm probably gonna go with Bilal versus Colby.
Wow, is that your official prediction? Colby wins next week.
No,
Well,
fucking no.
Colby for the title?
Kidding, dog. Sheesh. There's a backup here, or a secondary question from Carlos. Additionally, will New York Rick wear the famous tuxedo shirt for the award show? Much love from Portugal.
You bet your sweet butt I will.
Yeah, that is January the 3rd.
Yeah, I think so. Can't wait for that one.
Yeah,
Like we're gonna have a lot of different picks this year.
Oh yeah,
It's my favorite thing and my least favorite thing. in the
yeah,
world.
it's a whole process. Have you guys like started to dive deep?
No, that's why it's my least favorite. Because all of a sudden I have to
It's a
do
whole thing.
months of research at the very end.
God bless Kaposa. I mean, he really helps me out in that regard.
God bless him.
Yeah.
Was that this weekend that he was going off on the MMA fans?
Oh, it was great. I mean, if there's one person who can literally say whatever they want,
It was beautiful.
it's just him. No one has watched more than Kaposa. No one has seen more fights, seen more events. I mean, as we speak, he's probably watching Uzbekistan Fight Night 14.
Yeah, I mean, like there'll be like a UFC pay-per-view up till like 3 a.m. and then I'll wake up and it's 7 a.m. Kaposa's like, what a knockout over at ACA on the early prelims. And I'm like, wow, man's a grinder.
Thank you to everyone for your great questions. Do want to let you know that it's a big weekend coming up in the world of combat sports. I'm seeing all these tributes to Steve Cooper. I mean, Steve Cooper, a friend of the program. I don't know if you guys know this, and they're talking about him like he's dead. You know, it's very sad. I don't know if I'm fit to continue the rest of the show, but we're going to.
Fulham's looking to grab a sixth here. Like they're looking to put the end to the Steve Cooper reign.
This reminds me of 1998 Canadians Red Wings when they let Patrick Roy net to let in 11 goals, I think it was, against the Red Wings, and then he walked up to the owner of the team and said, "This was my last game," and then they traded him to Colorado, and then of course we all know what happened. Then he wins the Cup for Colorado. This is the second time in my life that I see this. It's unbelievable. Anyway, DraftKings Sportsbook. We love our friends over at DraftKings Sportsbook, of course. Big weekend coming up. Devin Haney, Regis Prograis, massive fight, 140-pound title. You got the PFL Europe fights on Friday, and of course, you've got the return to the UFC at the Apex. Anthony Smith versus Khalil Roundtree Jr. Chris Gutierrez against one Song Yadong. It was supposed to be in Shanghai. They said, how can we top Shanghai? Apex. This week, new customers can score 150 instantly in bonus bets just for betting $5 on basketball in-season tournament coming up. I agree with everything you guys said. It's total trash. Don't even bother watching it. But if you're into that sort of thing, Pacers, Bucks, Lakers, Pelicans. Lakers totally robbed that victory yesterday. I feel for my friend Shaheen. I don't know how they called the timeout when it's literally a loose ball. The ball is just is bouncing in no man's land, and somehow LeBron gets a timeout. Did you guys see this? Anyone see this?
Yeah, I saw it.
What the hell is that?
I mean, LeBron James called the timeout. Ref crumbled.
That wasn't a timeout.
Lights were too bright.
There was no possession. No one
Obviously,
had possession
yes,
of the ball.
I know. Lights were too bright for the ref. He saw LeBron call the timeout, and he said, okay, sure.
That's crazy.
And to sabotage something as sacred as the in-season.
Yeah. We would have had Suns Pelicans. Would have been incredible. You know who's most pissed? The TV networks.
Suns Pelicans final.
No, that's semifinal.
Oh, yeah.
Western semis, Vegas. Come on.
How many rounds are there?
There's rounds.
I keep thinking
Group
it's
stage,
the finals.
Semis, and now we're into the finals. We're going to the finals. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use the code DMAR. New customers could get 150 instantly bonus bets for betting just $5 on basketball. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with the code DMAR. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER in New York. 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369. Must be 21 and older. In most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. Yeah. All right, gents. What do we got? Is the randomizer fixed?
We're still working on that. Already received Juliana Pena's pick.
Wow.
What have we got?
Devin Haney money line heading to the world of boxing.
It's the first time she does a boxing pick?
I think so, yeah. I think so. But I will throw the rest in the randomizer here. Rick will go first. I will go second, and old Frankie over there will go third.
There we go.
I'm going to head over to PFL, and I'm going to take Brett Johns.
All right.
Money line.
All right.
Brett Johns getting a shot, yeah.
Nice. Check my newspaper the next morning to see who won.
Imagine people. Could you imagine there was a time not that long ago that people did that? Isn't that incredible?
Yeah, but I won't be able to watch this. So.
It is a shame. It is a shame.
Yeah,
what is going on here? It's 2023, guys.
Yeah.
Soon to be 2024.
I'll just be refreshing Tapology, reading the message boards of the live thing. That's how I know I'm down bad. Like if I'm in the back of an Uber and a fight's going on and I can't get a stream up and I'm updating Tapology, reading the message board of like people live scoring it. That's when I'm down real bad.
Brett Johns is fighting at featherweight against David Tona. Now I know why you didn't say his opponent.
We call him David Kroll around here.
All right, fine, fair enough. David Kroll works for me.
Brett Johns minus 600. Devin Haney minus 400.
Oh,
and that brings it over to me. I mean, this is a no-brainer. It's a big week here on the MMA Hour. If you know who's fighting, JYP, Jun Young Park, Iron Turtle, for the MMA Hour culture, minus 175. Lock it in. Taking on Andre Muniz.
Oh, I like that one.
Shout out to IT.
Yeah. There was a lot of requests to have him on this week. I couldn't come through. I tried. Couldn't come through.
It's all right. He said, Ariel, I'll be on Monday when I win.
Yeah. What do we got?
That gets us to Frankie.
Yeah. Creature, there's only one guy. It's Tatsuro Taira.
I mean, just another all-time speech.
I'm still not even sure if I heard who the guy was. There's only one guy, Tatsuro.
No. He's a creature of... There's only one guy.
Yeah.
Tatsuro Taira.
All right.
He's a creature of...
I was going to say a
creature of habit. Yeah, I know what you were going to say because you always pick Taira. I like that. That gets us to plus 170.
Boom.
Back in the win column?
Definitely.
I feel good about it.
Sounds good to me. 10 p.m. main card start this week. Looking forward to that one. Looking forward to that one.
Yeah. And it was supposed to be like an early morning if it was in China, right?
Yeah. I think like a 4 a.m.
I love those. Those are the best.
I would have been up and at 'em. Then you get a little nap afterward, a little reset, cup of coffee, and you go on with your day.
Yeah. I see Eddie Hearn weighed in on our a clip on our show. Did you guys see that?
No.
It was a clip from Regis talking about working with Eddie when he called him full of shit. He just did the laughing emoji and a heart. You gotta love that about old Eddie.
I'd imagine Eddie would have something to say about that.
Oh, how about this one? Mexico City card coming through. Is this confirmed or?
I don't know if it's confirmed, but I've heard.
I mean, it's from Ramundi, so I'm going to take this.
Well, that's
Moreno versus Albazi, February 24th in Mexico City.
Yeah, we knew about this.
Okay, all right. Mexico City card, February 24th. Love it.
That sounds amazing.
So they're going to go from Mexico City to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, and then to Miami for $299.
Caitlin Chukagian, Macy Barber.
Shout out.
Alex Behunin?
Behunin. I'm almost positive. We've clarified with him a million.
The second end was cut off. The second end was
Behunin. He has told us several times over. Speaking of city cards, Sean Brady mentioned it on Monday. Atlantic City card.
Oh yeah.
March 30th. Do we know of any?
I haven't heard about that. Honestly, I think he was like this. That's the second time I heard, but nothing.
That is the second time I've heard that.
Would you go?
Oh my God, yeah, I'm in there. Like no doubt. That's why I want to know so bad.
It's a pretty depressing place in the winter time.
Never been. I gotta go.
Oh, it's a depressing place.
March 30th though. It's
winter
spring.
time. It's still winter
That's
over
spring.
here on the water. It's cold. Rick, have you been to Atlantic City?
Yeah, a few times.
For fun or for fights?
Both. I went to that one at Revel. I went to the Clay Guida Gray Maynard. I want to say that was at Revel when they first opened. But I've been to Gamble as well.
Look at you.
Yeah,
It's depressing. Is it not depressing?
Not a fan. Like
It's
just go to
depressing.
Vegas. I don't care how close it is to New York. Get a flight. It's rough. It's rough scenes out there.
Well, when there's a UFC fight night there, that's when we'll go. Hotel? What's the one you love so much, Frankie?
The Luxor.
Yeah, the Luxor.
There's only one.
Is there a Luxor Atlantic City?
No, thank God.
Oh.
What about the rest of the picks?
Yeah, let's get into it. Let's start. Frank's guy. I mean, creature of.
Let's not cancel this fight.
Only one guy. Tatsuro Taira. Really like his grappling. I mean, he is slick when it comes to the ground. Carlos Hernandez. We've seen him taken down in every UFC fight he's been in. We've seen his bag taken. We've seen him submitted. And I feel like Tatsuro Taira is going to be able to do the same here. So I will take that. Next up, got to ride with the Swiss when I get a chance. You don't get a chance too often. So I will be riding with Stephanie Egger. I feel like this line is, I mean, it obviously is, but it's based off their last two fights. Egger, she gets submitted in the first round. Santos gets the finish in the first round, albeit against a 5 professional fight, Juliana Miller. I feel like it should be lined closer. I think it is a closer fight. I like the finishing upside of Stephanie Egger. She's won her last 4 fights by finish. I think she has more experience And I think she is a live dog in this spot. Next up, broke it down last week. Same pick this week. Really love when Steve Garcia fights. It usually turns into a brawl. I think this one's going to be no different. I think it's going to be exciting. I even like this pick. I'll touch more now that it's at 135. Steve Garcia having the illness issues before last week's fight. Just moved it on over to this one. Now at 135. I think it's going to be a scrap, and I think someone's going to get put out. So I like the fight. Does not go to a decision. Going to go with a little points prop, plus 3.5 points. You add up the 3 judges' scorecards at the end. So essentially, Song just needs to win 1 round for me across the 3 judges' scorecards, and I think he's very live to do that. Gisette looked pretty good in his debut against Kiefer Crosby. I think Song is a bit more skilled than Crosby. And Gisette got hit 40 times in round 1, 33% striking defense, and Song hits hard, man. We saw him drop Ian Gary out there. He's dropped 5 of his UFC opponents. He's got 3 knockouts in the UFC. I think he can win a round. And if not finish, Gisette, I think Song's live to win this fight outright. But at minus 130, I like the price tag on plus 3.5. Short notice, Tim Elliott stepping in, man, saving the featured bout of the evening. Not going to take a side here, but I am going to take the over 1.5. 8 straight over 1.5s rolled Tim Elliott, and 11 of his last 14. And then Sumandarji, while he is a very exciting fighter and he does have finishing capability, 4 of his last 6 have gone over the 1.5. Usually take flyweight unders, but this one I will be taking the over in. And then, come on, people. Junyoung Park Fight Week, Iron Turtle making his return to the Apex. What do you think I'm going to do? Iron Turtle money line. I will be taking that, and you know what? We're going to have a little fun. We're going to set up Iron Turtle to potentially be a hero and get, we saw it, plus 1,000, first round knockout for our boy Raul Rosas. Iron Turtle, we're going to take him round 3, plus 1,000. Andre Muniz, very live, very, very skilled Brazilian jiu-jitsu practitioner, but he doesn't have the greatest gas tank. And Iron Turtle has been looking great as of late, and he's no stranger to getting a finish as well. I think Muniz is going to be very live on the front end, but as the fight goes on, I think old Iron T wears him down, gets the finish in round 3, plus 1,000, cashes the ticket, comes on the show on Monday. That is my official prediction.
Oh, you know yourself.
For how this one works out for UFC Apex 83. Just a couple parlays, little prop parlay, and then a 2-week little cross promotion. Still says prop parlay, should say 2-week. Tatsuro Taira, Hyunsung Park, Shavkat Rachmanov getting some love in there. And those are the picks. UFC Apex 83, slowly making our way to UFC Apex 100.
Wow. I wonder what kind of celebration it's going to be. It's probably going to be lit.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a big one. Watch party.
You going to do a watch party?
Oh, UFC Apex 100 for sure.
I mean...
What do you think main event's that one? Everyone talking about UFC 300. I'm more curious about UFC Apex 100.
Yeah, you do watch parties for
Gotta
BKFC.
be like Kevin Holland, right?
You got to do watch parties for that.
Who's Mr. Apex?
I feel like Khalil Roundtree is Mr. Apex. I feel like all his fights post-pandemic have been...
Kevin Holland, definitely.
Kevin Holland?
No, I think this is Song Yadong's 3rd straight main event in the Apex. Who has the most Apex main events?
Kevin Holland fought like 6 times in
but those were like the early those were the early days, but I mean like now
Kevin Holland has also fought like 17 times in the last 3 years.
There's got to be a fighter or two.
Yeah, so this is my point.
No, but there's got to be a fighter or two who still, now that they're out and about fighting at the Apex, nothing.
I mean, there's 100% someone who has the most Apex fights. Just have to dig in and find.
Yeah,
out
we need to know this.
Khalil Roundtree.
MJ flipped the script. Get out there.
So Khalil Roundtree had one fight in Abu Dhabi in January of 2021. Prior to that, his last fight was September of 2019, so that's pre-pandemic. But then since that fight, it's been Apex. This is his 5th straight Apex fight.
Wow.
Impressive.
Is he Mr. Apex? We need the title of either Mr. or Mrs. Apex.
I feel like this is up there.
The queen or king of the Apex, because they're going to need a main event for UFC Apex 100.
And what did you say this number is?
This is 83, so we have 17 to go. When was UFC Apex 66? So that's 17.
Yeah, but
ago,
they're coming like a lot less infrequently.
They're slowing, which is great. Which is great for us.
Is it? I want the 100.
Not for me.
Yeah.
Damn,
I want to see it.
We might have to wait for UFC or for 2025 to get there.
Very 17? Yeah, very possible.
UFC Vegas 66 was Cannonier Strickland.
Cannonier Strickland. That was December.
Yeah, December 17, 2025.
Yeah, there's no way.
2025.
Yeah, it's 2025.
Only 17 Apex cards in.
Only. Jeez, 17 of 42? What percentage is that? That's almost half. Almost.
Not enough for my liking.
Yeah, 20%? No, not 20%. 40%? 45%?
40.4%.
There it is. Gents, a pleasure as always, except for the Tony Khan thing. I don't know whose idea that
Well, it
was.
was more a Fulham thing, huh?
Well, the whole thing.
5-0. I guess it was really a Nottingham Forest thing.
Is it over?
Yeah, 5-0 your final from
Craven Cottage.
From Craven Cottage. That's the name.
You think Tony would come on now?
I mean, I feel like we've given him more airtime than anyone other than himself on his own broadcast. I mean, this has been a great day for him.
Love calling a stadium a cottage. I mean,
This is
fair play to Fulham though.
This is the type of squad that we are. We're humble in victory and defeat.
Been taking a lot of L's lately.
Who?
Our sports teams.
Yeah, you're right. Sports suck. All right, gents. Thank you very much. It's been a great day. It's been a great week. Frank, any final thoughts?
No. Whose bottle is that?
You've been too verbose today.
Oh, gosh.
There's nothing else to be said. Let us hit that music. I do want to let you know one last time that our good friends over at
That was actually
Cash
last.
App, yes,
I
are
didn't know how
great
to say it.
people, and they support us unconditionally. When you set up direct deposit with your Cash App account, you can get your paycheck up to 2 days early. How about that? And look, they say time is money. So how much money is that 2 days worth? I'm not an economist, but I'd say it is a lot. Basically, what I'm saying is if you set up a direct deposit on Cash App, you have time to spare and money to spend. That's money that's Cash App. Download Cash App from the App Store or Google Play Store and set up direct deposit today. My kids are going to be insufferable today because they're going to make fun of me for this 5-0 defeat. But them's the breaks, Frank.
Not on the eve of Hanukkah.
That's right. Happy Hanukkah to everyone out there. The Festival of Lights. Instead of 1 day of presents, we get 8 crazy nights. You know what I'm saying that?
Yeah. Absolutely.
When you feel like the only kid in town without a Christmas tree. Here's
My favorite
a
part
list.
is when he's like, O.J. Simpson.
Not a Jew. But guess who is? Hall of Famer.
I actually don't know that line.
Rod Carew. He converted. We got Ann Landers and her sister, dear Abby. Tom Cruise is a quarter Jewish. Not too shabby. You don't have to deck the halls or Jingle Bell Rock, 'cause you could spin the dreidel with Captain Kirk and Mr.
Spock.
Both Jewish. Tell your friend Veronica it's time to celebrate Hanukkah. I hope I get a harmonica on this joyful, joyful Hanukkah. So drink your gin and tonica and smoke your
marijuana gun.
And if you really wanna have a happy, 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 happy Hanukkah. I hope there are many anti-Semites watching this show right now and enjoyed that rendition of Adam Sandler's Happy Hanukkah. God bless you all. It has been a great, great day here on the program. We do appreciate everyone who stopped by. Thank you to the crew as well. Much love to Alex Volkanovski, Johnny Eblen, Drakkar Klose, Regis Prograis, and the Underground King himself, Eddie Alvarez, back on Monday. Same time and place. Tell us happy.